I can't believe the 35 times we've done this. I've never accidentally hit start streaming before.
Oh,
Yeah, it
I didn't
says
think
start
about that.
recording. And then it like gave me this weird warning. It was like
It's just like you don't have a camera.
it's like you don't have an access key. And it's like, oh shit. But welcome to the show, everybody.
You don't
Enjoy
have the facilities for that.
enjoy some behind the scenes content. I
Of
the
course.
wrong button.
Welcome everybody to the Unpaid Nobodies, where we constantly just messed up.
We just constantly we have never done anything right. Like
But we're vibing, and that's all
we
that
have never
matters.
done anything right except the people we've invited on the show. They're cool.
That is true.
uh,
It's funny how the rest of our professional stance and like what we do in our careers, it's so much like more organized.
yeah. Oh yeah. It's it's
This is where
wild.
we this is where we let everything go,
This is
but
where
not
we
get
can
canceled.
be. Yeah. God, dude, it's been an exhausting week to be a fan of hip hop.
Yes, it has.
Like both like in the obvious bad that's going on right now,
Mm-hmm.
but also like in the excitement for this week. It's a big week.
This is there's been a change to one of the albums, but even still, this might honestly compete. I know
Yeah.
I said September 30th was the like release of the year,
Yeah.
but this
This is
this is
wild.
jam packed. This
Yeah.
is a lot of stuff.
There's a
Just
lot of
the
stuff.
diversity, I think, stands out the
It's
most.
wild.
So
Wild. And a lot of great artists too.
a
You know, a lot of
lot of great artists.
yeah. Let's just get right
Should
into it.
we?
Let's just
Yeah,
go
I was
because
gonna
we
say,
got a
should we jump
lot
into
to
it?
cover. Right? All
We
right,
do.
Purvis, run down all the albums that are coming out.
Okay, so the biggest release, in my opinion, Smino is dropping "Love for Rent."
Agreed.
Um, I said this
Debatable, but I agree. Like,
right. It's debatable, but like, come on, let's be honest here.
yeah,
Um, I cannot wait. I've expressed my love for this artist. I don't know how many times. Um, I don't. It's
I've gone
been.
back and listened to Noir, and what was the other one?
I'm pulling everything up right now because I was actually curious how long it's been since his last release. His last release was Noir, which is 2018, and then Black Swan 2017. So it's been
Yeah,
some time.
yeah. I've listened to Noir about 4 times in the last week.
I mean, both of the albums are like fantastic.
Incredible. Yeah,
This might be his classic. I'm just saying, it might be his
I
classic.
I have high expectations. I have good feelings about it too.
Good producers, good features.
Excellent features.
Regardless, by the
Yeah,
time you listen to this, to finish the episode, go listen to the album.
yeah,
Besides that,
yeah.
I'm just gonna bring it
I
up
gotta
because
say
like,
it though. Right now, considering what I'm listening to, there's an album I'm excited for. Maybe not as much, but like almost as much.
oh yeah, it's up there as well.
Yeah. And that's
I mean,
West
but
Side Gun. Hitler wears
yeah,
Hermes 10.
I was gonna say this is it actually the 10th installation? I
I
feel
think,
like this is a lot.
yeah. There's a lot. This is the second one this year.
Wow. And I
Yeah,
did listen to the last one
I've
actually.
listened to a few of the Hitler wears Hermeses, and you know West Side Gun, excellent, creative genius in my opinion. Really good bars. His voice is just really annoying to me. So he's probably my least favorite in that subgroup right now.
Right.
But
Uh,
dude's a genius. I'm super excited for this album. Like,
oh yeah, for sure. He has many good albums, good songs. He fits in that like subgenre that we've been like
yeah,
obsessed with for the
hardcore
past
hip
like
hop.
couple of
It's
months.
the wave. It's what's going on right now. Like,
It really
it,
is.
you know, you really have two sides right now. You have like the trap pop rap kind of stuff going on. You know, the stuff that's on Rap Caviar, and then you really have this. This is the other big wave right now. And then you have like the massive artists that are above everything. Your Kendricks, your Cole,
Mm.
you know.
Well, speaking of massive artists, we had one that was expected to be
Yeah,
tonight, but it got pushed back a week. Apparently, 40
got
has
COVID.
COVID.
Yeah, and that's
Um,
Drake and 21 Savage. Her loss.
I am like, this was a surprise drop. I
Yeah,
like
this is a
lost
surprise
it
drop.
when I
Yeah, this
found
is
out.
great. This is I'm excited for this. I'm excited. I think I think this is going to be the apology album for the apology album.
Okay.
Because I think, listen, I'm a critic of Certified Lover Boy. I think it's one of his lesser albums.
Okay.
But I think the response to it was very harsh, too harsh, I'd say. Uh, and I think in response to that, Drake was like, okay, I'll go in a new direction. I'll do something new. And then he did Honestly Nevermind.
Which got a lot of backlash.
Which was, people were just as harsh, if not harsher. And this
Harsher.
time he deserved it, like, in my opinion. Like,
I was gonna say, like, the fact that it was a new direction, power to him, no shame.
No,
at all,
I think
and I
think
respect
the idea of like Drake house album, I'm into that idea. I just think Honestly Nevermind had one good song on it, and it's the song with only one. Oh no, Sticky was pretty good, but like
Sticky was good.
Yeah, but the only one I've listened to more than twice is the one with 21 Savage.
I will say, honestly, Nevermind had to grow on me, but at this point now, like, I don't go back and listen to this album. I honestly don't. Um, I will say, I think it got more harsh treatment than it was deserving, just because it was his first within that genre. I feel like it was a little hard to expect the highest level.
Yeah.
Even though I get it, it's Drake. Like, it's one of the biggest artists in the game.
The thing is that the idea that this is getting shit on because it's not the highest level, I think is like laughably false. Though, like, this isn't the highest level. This is not even the average level. This is no, like it's not that it's just average and people are shitting on it for that. I think the hate this album got, I think it mostly deserved. You know,
it was sub-average.
It was bad. It was. There's no words around it.
I have to ask.
I would
because
say,
you know we play
like, Certified Lover Boy is like below average, but not bad.
His average, yeah.
Yeah, I would say below average. That's my opinion, but I wouldn't say bad. That's my thing, though. That's my point that I want to say.
Because you know I like to play this game with you.
What's up?
Is it worse than Post Malone?
I mean, it's hard. I mean, honestly, never mind. Like, against his whole career, I would say it's not as. Personally, if I had to go back and listen to Stoney or Honestly Nevermind, I would pick Honestly Nevermind.
Okay.
100%. But if you do the same thing for Beer Bongs and Bentleys, probably not. If you do the same thing for Hollywood Undead, it's probably a wash.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So it's hard to say. But Stoney? 100%. Like, I don't think it's irredeemably bad, but I think it's bad.
No, I understand. I was going to say
I'm not
it's
saying
very
there's
valid.
Zero upside. I'm just saying it's bad. And the other thing is that, like, it's another album that, like, it feels extremely low effort to the point where, once again, I just bring this up all the time. One of the songs is half a song slowed down, like, in order to make it an album cut. And, like, and the other stuff is so lazy that one of the better songs. Like,
it's funny. I was literally going to say Liability is probably one of the better songs, even though it's just a slowed down track.
But, like, I know I'm being funny with it, but, like, you know what I'm saying is true, though, to an extent.
Oh, 100%. That's why I said, like, I like to play this game with you, because, like, I know how you set certain standards and, like, how you judge certain things.
Yeah.
So I always, like, kind of, so it's like, okay, I know what you hate the most. so let me try to compare this.
Yeah.
But bouncing off of that, another huge name.
Oh, another artist who did house music much better.
Yeah. I was literally about to say Beyonce.
Yeah. Now this is I don't think this is confirmed, but it's like officially teased, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like,
I've seen a couple of posts about it.
Yeah. And
so
like,
I will say
Beyonce's channel did something about it, like.
Exactly. I was gonna say Beyonce's one of those artists, like, I'm not gonna get BS out of it. If she says it's dropping, and you just have to wait till she says it.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for the post for Beyonce to say, "Hey, it's here," but it has been rumored that it might drop tonight.
Heavily rumored,
Right. That is Act 2. With that being said, Brandon, I haven't listened to the first act yet.
I mean, I don't hate that because, like, I think Renaissance, as incredible as it is, I do think it kind of pushes the genre. It pushes Beyonce's roots almost outside the purview of this podcast to an
Okay.
extent. Uh, that being said, it's an incredible album. Like,
Do you know?
it's one of
And
the better ones of the year.
I have no idea, by the way, but do you know if this is rumored to be a continuation of House Music? Is he going back to?
Beyonce has said it's going to be a 3-act project. So she has
Interesting.
confirmed that there is going to be a Renaissance Act 2 and a Renaissance Act 3.
And it's supposed to be Act Two. Okay.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm in. I'm
yeah,
fully in.
yeah. I think like it was probably just a project that she just got into a creative groove with,
Hmm.
and it's probably just made a lot of songs. If all of them meet your your quality bar, and Beyonce's quality bar is pretty high, put out
Right.
as many as you can, right? Like,
I was gonna say the fans will absolutely want all of it.
yeah,
um, but I guess speaking of another artist who's been very, very popular recently and very active, we have Pusha T and Madlib.
yeah.
So they're coming out with Brick Conductor. So can you break this down for me? Because you brought this up to me. You said this actually wasn't going to be new
Yeah,
music.
this is not like new music. This is not a new Pusha T album. What it
Okay.
is it's a mashup album done by Madlib,
Okay.
who is one of the
So
most legendary producers in the game.
yeah, let me look this up real quick.
Yeah. So as I understand it, that's what it is, and it appears to be some kind of official release, but I'm pretty sure it's a mashup of like Pusha T's old music on top of new beats, probably within some kind of theme. Not 100% sure,
Believe it or not, you're gonna hate me for this.
but
So I'm looking up Madlib because I have very basic general knowledge on this producer. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, that's fine.
He's worked on Pinata
Yeah, that's probably my favorite one. He's
and Mad Villain. He worked with Doom.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay. Now I'm fully sold. Now this
yeah,
is like some of the biggest projects out there.
yeah. Some of the
Like these
biggest
are
all time.
staples.
He's one of the goats. One of the goats. And something to bring up: this releases on Monday.
Okay.
It's a Halloween thing.
I honestly I could see new music. I could see it being new music.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's crazy to think, but it looks like it's gonna be pretty big.
All right. Well, I'm in for it.
I'm here for it.
I guess another thing we can go over then. And so this was just released as of today.
Yeah,
This
this.
There's no announcements. There's no nothing. Baby Keem is dropping a deluxe album
Okay,
to Melodic Blue.
you know what? Like, this is the after seeing all the releases this week, I was like, "Fuck, what else could come out?" Right? And I think a deluxe of an album is probably the other thing I'd like to fit in this weekend. And it's interesting because I think Black Blue came out a while ago, didn't it? Like,
And Melodic Blue came out a very long time ago.
you
That's
know,
why it was kind of like a what's going on type of
yeah.
thing.
So like, I'm happy because I want to revisit Melodic Blue.
It came out September 10th of last year.
Yeah. So it's been
So it's over a
over.
year old.
Yeah.
Is that allowed? Like, actually,
Like,
though, think about
according
it.
to the state, I think. Yeah. Like,
Not like legally, but like in reality, why would you call it a deluxe? I feel like this is going to be an entirely different project. And if it's not, why did it take you a year to release music that was supposed to already be in this project over a year ago?
I have no
It
idea.
doesn't make sense to me.
I have no idea what this could be. I'm willing to bet there's a fair amount of unreleased songs on it. Uh, you know, I, I wouldn't doubt that there's maybe like a beat, like an entire second disc that has like songs on it. Like that sounds about right to me.
Be honest, I would rather just have them put in another project and be like, here's a new project.
Yeah, they're probably just left over from this one though. Yeah,
Again, it just leaves a bad taste. And it could just be
So are
And I
you?
have no right to complain about this as a fan. I should just be grateful. But like, do you really
You gotta
want
be.
music that an artist made a year or two ago?
Uh, I mean, I think as long as it's good, yeah, sure. I mean, I'm I have a lot of respect for people who like don't release the deluxe album. They're like, no,
Okay.
this is it. Like, like as much as I'm not a fan of the album itself, when Nav said that, like, oh no, there's not going to be an Angels and Demons Deluxe. Like, this is like the final album. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Respectable.
Like, stand by your shit. Like, that's dope.
Hmm.
Um, but I also do think they have a place. I think about like After Hours had a really cool deluxe because After Hours is just so conceptual and has such a strong storyline that just like it becomes obvious. It's like, oh, these are the songs that just don't fit in the storyline. You know what I mean?
That's another one of the things. And I feel like, and this is something that I'm just realizing as we're talking about it. I don't think I like deluxe. I honestly
Yeah.
don't. I
I'm,
don't
I'm
think I
wondering,
like
like, do you just
the
like are you like
idea of a deluxe.
categorically against it?
I just feel like it doesn't naturally serve a purpose in terms of what an artist is supposed to express. I feel like a project is very sacred, and the album is the highest tier of expression in terms of
Music.
this is who I am, and just music. And so I feel like a conceptual album, especially the one you just mentioned, After Hours. After Hours is damn near perfect. Like, and
Yeah.
I think you would agree with that.
Oh yeah. No, it is quick. It is probably in my top three albums of all time.
So
I've
that's what
been
I'm saying.
I've recently really rectified my top three of all time and
Hmm.
made some switches. I think.
But I'm saying like the fact that it's so perfected, it's done so well.
Yeah.
How can you even consider this a deluxe? It's three more songs.
I mean, well, I think that was just like an extended edition, and I think the other thing is, I think I feel differently about it because we're in the era of streaming where there's no real opportunity cost. You know,
Interesting.
it's not
Okay.
like I would have to go out and re-buy After Hours to listen to those three songs.
You make a
Or even
very good
pay
point.
the additional $3. If I was on, the iTunes.
With
Um,
streaming, it's just there for you.
yeah, and then the other thing is, I think the deluxe one, like there was I remember this very vividly. There was like an extended one with the three songs, and then there was one that
Hmm.
has a bunch of remixes. Not a super big fan of any of those, but like I'm like, okay, that's fine. And like I feel like because it was conceptual, I give it more of a pass because I understand that the album it's more than just a collection of songs, and that means that you have to have a strong sense of editorial. I mean, I think
Okay.
about like the recipe. Like, do you want to live in a world without that song? Just because like doesn't fit the storyline of Big Kid, Mad City.
You're gonna be mad at me, but honestly, I would rather it just be a single. I like the
I don't hate
idea
that.
of it
I don't
being
hate that
tied
answer.
into it. I
I
just don't
I don't
like
hate
it.
that answer, but I also disagree. Like,
Right, I like the song, but like
yeah,
when I'm being so serious, I
yeah.
like the song. But when I go listen to Good Kid, Mad City, I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna think of the recipe. I'm not.
Oh, I listen to the recipe after every time. To me, it's like I don't know. It's almost like the credits, but like something I want to watch.
Hmm.
Uh,
I mean, even still, you.
what about like don't you think there are some artists that do like interesting things with the deluxe? Like I think about Denzel Curry's where
I was literally about to say his is the exception. Even though I haven't heard it, I know it completely changes like the genre almost of the music.
yeah, it's also live.
Right.
But it's like a live jazzy rendition and it's so good.
So that's a very unique and niche kind of thing. So I'll give them that. I'll give you that. I just feel I can't like from the top of my head right now. I can't think of a single album where I've gone. I like the deluxe more.
To me I just always default to the deluxe. Just
Just because
because
you get the full project.
just
Yeah.
cuz like like I think about After Hours it's like I really like two of those three songs. And I get why they weren't on the album. Like I'm like, yeah, these wouldn't make any sense after.
Right, it wouldn't fit necessarily.
You know,
Okay.
so it's like, yeah, I like that I have those songs. I might feel differently if we lived in a different economic era and we got music differently, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And like and once again, I have a whole lot of respect for people who stand by and this is the final version.
I mean, you just brought up a good point, and this could just be ignorance talking. I don't really know of that many deluxe albums prior to, I don't know, 2010.
There were definitely some, but yeah, no, it's definitely something that happens in the digital age. But I think it might be old. But I think the phenomenon might be old.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
No.
or like way before streaming was dominant.
That is okay. That's one way to put it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. All right. Well,
but yeah, good excuse to revisit the melodic blue. I feel like it deserves another listen.
Oh yeah, for sure. Moving on from that, then, do you know of the
DVSN
group Division?
No?
Yeah.
Oh, Division? No, I have no idea.
No, I mean DVSN. I don't know what name they go by. I believe it's Division. I found Division a couple years ago. It's an R&B group. Two individuals, I want to say. One is mostly focused on the singing. The other one is mostly on the music, I want to say. Some really good music, Brandon. Like for R&B, some really good music. So I highly recommend. This might be a good introduction for you.
Yeah.
But they're coming out with the album Working on My Karma.
Okay. I'll work on that. It's a busy weekend.
It is.
But I don't know about you, but I'm going to be in front of my computer all weekend. So I'm definitely
plus it's Halloween weekend. It's a lot going on.
I'm not
People
doing shit
be
for
outside.
Halloween. My girl's best friend is having a Halloween themed bachelorette.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, but hey, that sounds cool. Like that sounds like a cool, like creative thing to do. So Rachel's going out of town tomorrow, and it lined up with the Call of Duty release. So that's why I'm gonna be.
That's all you're gonna be working on.
That's all I gotta know. That's it. All right, I think there's one last one. Your favorite artist of all time?
It's not my favorite artist of all time.
Favorite artist of all time? Your golden boy.
Not even close.
Your magnificent orange eagle, as you call him.
I would rather jump off the roof of my building. But lining up with Halloween, as we were just speaking, Kodak Black is dropping Cutthroat Bill.
What is this going to be? What if there's like a remix of the Monster Mash on this? That's
bro. This come on. You know what? I'm not even mad because we don't have to take him serious at all. Did you listen to his last album, Brandon?
No, I did not listen to Kodak Black's last album. I listened to I listened to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and I don't skip it when he comes on.
I tried listening to Back for Everything that dropped this year. I got halfway through it. It is 19 songs, and I got about halfway, and I tapped out.
Yeah, that's wild.
It is an hour long. I'm telling you what, I won't do it again.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna fall for it again. I will wait for the media to tell me if there's any big radio songs, maybe 2 or 3 songs. I will listen to them, and I will move on. I will not be listening. To Cutthroat Bill. Personally.
Yeah, me neither. Let's get to the singles because we got a lot of those.
A lot of really big singles.
Yeah. You want to get to the biggest one? Just start with like the one that has all the air in the room.
Hey, lead the way.
Rihanna's back.
Rihanna is back. 6 years.
6 years.
6 years.
2 songs for the Black Panther movie. One of which is a tribute to Chadwick Boseman.
Man, bro, this is huge. This is huge for the culture.
Is inflation so bad Rihanna had to go back to work? Like,
I don't believe that in any sense. Rihanna doesn't have to do anything. She's pregnant. She can sit at home and just chill.
Is that how expensive a kid is nowadays? Back to work?
I mean, hey, there is a shortage on baby formula, so you never know.
Oh my God.
But Rihanna's back.
Yeah.
Honestly, So I want the discussion I want to have is what you brought up to me previous. If this is something along the lines where Kendrick Lamar is the main head producer of the Black Panther album, let's say Rihanna is the main producer. Are we happy?
I'm
Are you
stoked.
upset?
I'm stoked.
I am like livid. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Not livid. That's the wrong word. I am like ecstatic.
Yeah, it's Rihanna. It could not be a better pick. Could not be a better pick.
It's just so perfect for the culture. It fits within the movie. Everything just works.
And like, let's be honest. Like, this is this movie's a huge event.
It really is.
Rihanna is a massive figure, and the death of Chadwick Boseman was a tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I love seeing her kind of step into this almost like mythic figure role, like make some songs for this movie. And if it goes even deeper than that, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I know some fans are saying like, "Oh, we want like a full album. This is like cheap." Nope, don't care. New Rihanna.
I can definitely understand people who are like, oh, I would have rather gotten a full album than songs for a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I can understand that, like, imagine if Frank Ocean's next release was for a movie you had no interest in. But as these words escape my mouth,
you about to say, Brandon, I don't care. I don't care in the slightest bit.
Yeah, like
it would be ecstatic.
No,
it could be for a rom-com. I'm listening to every single second of that song.
Yeah, nope. Yeah, you're right. As those words turned to ash in my mouth real fast.
There's no shot it's not happening.
Yeah, well, this is a huge event.
It is. It really is.
All right, but we got Ski Mask, Ooga Booga.
Yeah, this came out early in the week. I believe it's Halloween themed.
Oh, it has? I haven't seen it.
I mean, it was supposed to come out earlier this week. Let me double check now. I could have lied.
Right now.
It said it was supposed to come out during the week. Yep, it's out. Ooga Booga.
Yeah, I see.
Has 1 million plays. I'll be honest, I have not listened to it, but I love Ski Mask.
Yeah, no, I'll listen to this before I leave my room. Like,
did you? I know you said you're getting into it.
Yeah,
what happened so far?
I've listened to. Let me look. I listened to a few of his albums, and then the year got crazy. What was the one? I listened to Stokely, and I loved it.
Yeah, good one. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I feel like that's his first like mature album.
Juice WRLD, really great. La La, really great. Reborn to Rebel, excellent. Whole
he low-key is like a lyricist, and people don't even know.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, because he just makes a genre of music that does not require lyrics.
Yeah, that's true.
And not my favorite genre, but I think that's fair. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, yeah, I think he serves I don't want to say he's the head, but considering that we had some recent passing, unfortunately, I would say he's one of the head within that SoundCloud era.
Yeah.
And going off that subject, we also have one person who is literally considered a head because he still has influence. Juice WRLD, yeah.
I hate this.
You hate this?
Dude, stop it. Stop releasing Juice WRLD music. Like,
I mean, they came out with. I don't know if it was an accident either.
I don't know, man, but it just seems gross. It seems, and we'll talk more about this. But I don't know. I think like this is well past the point of good.
So this is what I would say. From what I've seen so far, I don't know if it was released by accident, but there was like a 30-second to a minute song put on streaming platforms called Rush Hour. It is gone now. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is supposed to lead into an EP or a mini album, not just a single. The single that I heard, surprisingly, even though Juice WRLD has a ton of unreleased leaked music, this was new.
Yeah,
And when I say new, in terms of like
it hasn't been
people
leaked
haven't heard
before.
of this.
Yeah, yeah,
And
especially
so the
because Juice
fault,
World is someone who has so much leaked music.
yeah, it's huge. He has literally albums worth of music that are leaked on SoundCloud. And with that being said, I found something interesting today. I believe it was Little Bibby. I have to double check, but somebody affiliated with Juice World was saying Rush Hour that's supposed to be coming out is all music that has not been leaked. And I think that gives it some positive feeling to it.
I just, to me, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's like, I just think like the fact that Juice World died like what, like 2 3 years ago at this point,
It's
and
been a
like
minute.
it feels like you're just pimping his ghost, and that just feels gross to me. Like it's just, and
I agree.
and that I understand that there's an appeal to it. As a fan, like I don't bemoan you as a Juice World fan getting excited to hear this music. Um, but I just think, unless you're releasing it for free and you're not going to make any money off of it, it feels very gross to just keep releasing this music.
So I guess going off of that point, and we're going to come back to the singles, but this is one of the news points that I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
XXX Estate has another
New
album
album.
lined
Yeah.
up.
Now I do think
For,
I think it's interesting because I don't think my opinion on hey, it's kind of fucked up to release this music. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion.
mm-hmm.
Uh, but I think a lot of people would make an exception if it was someone's family, with the understanding that their family knows them the best, and it's less morally depraved. I disagree.
I was literally about to say I don't know about this one.
Yeah, I did. Well, no, I just know that there are people who have that opinion, and like, look,
Yeah.
that's fine. But like, no, I disagree. I still think, to me, this equally feels gross. This has been over 3 years, and
This has been like 4 years now. He died back in 2018.
oh
It's
really?
been over 4 years.
Yeah,
Yep, he died in June 2018. It's been four
and a half.
years, almost half a decade.
Uh, and yeah, it is. It's gross. It's very gross.
I'm not even
And
expecting it to be good.
of course, it's not going to be good. It's going to be the last. It's going to be the stuff they scraped out of the hard drives. You know?
I'm genuinely curious. Like,
Yeah, and like, look, if he died working on an album and wanted to release it,
that is one thing.
that's one thing. But that doesn't take 4 fucking years, and it also doesn't take four. He wasn't working on what is this, 4 or 5 albums?
Yep.
And it's gross, and I
I'm
don't
genuinely
like
curious.
it.
Like, I don't understand and I don't know, so I don't want to overstep my boundaries. But, like, from what I do understand, XXX Tentacion's estate, or whatever you want to call it, it is closely relative people to him. Like, this isn't necessarily a business marketing scheme, I
No,
want to say.
I believe like when they say estate, that means it's his family. That's what I mean.
Right.
Yeah, it's his. It's the people who have, his next of kin, his immediate family, who have the rights to it.
So what I don't understand is, do they need the money? Do they not care? Do they really think this is beneficial? Like,
Well,
genuinely,
yeah,
I just
I
want to
totally think
understand
they
what's
just
going
think,
on.
like I know too many things. I know too many horrible people who have done horrible things to their families to not think like, no, they just need money. Like they just either need or want money, and that's why they're doing this. And yeah, it's just, but they're probably also getting X's visuals and everything. So to me, it just, because it's something that's in line with the very exploitative capitalist music industry we have. This is not them perverting that system. This is them participating in it. And
Okay.
I think it's gross when large companies do it. I think it's gross when the family does.
I don't know which one's worse.
I mean, it certainly feels more personal, you know, because you would
That is,
expect
yeah.
someone's family to not do that. You would expect them to honor their legacy to an extent, and
Hmm.
it's extremely hard for me to believe that if X wanted this music released, that it would be releasing 4 years later.
That's a long time.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep. No, I agree.
all right, let's run down more of these singles. We got a lot. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say if we're staying on the SoundCloud kind of area, then Trippy Red
yeah,
is dropping a song with Don Toliver
yeah,
called "Ain't Safe." I'm fully on board. I don't know
yep.
how this is gonna mix with Trippy Red screaming and Don Toliver's like melody, but hey, I'm here for it.
I feel like this is gonna work. I'm not a huge fan of Trippy Red. I like Don Toliver. I think this is gonna work.
Yeah, like I
Yeah,
said, I'm fully in
yeah,
on it. I'm just curious how it's gonna mix.
yeah. And once again, like I'm not a huge fan of Trippy Red, but I'm also no hater. Like he's
Hmm.
definitely made good music. Like,
He's kind of present. He's just there.
yeah. Uh
Should we go and talk about one of your Golden Girls?
oh, don't shut the fuck up. I hate you. Let's
See,
go.
nah, this is payback.
Yeah. I don't. I just think she's being treated very unfairly.
So, dang, should we just?
No, we'll get to it when we
Because
get to it.
all right, we'll get to it later
Yeah,
because
we'll get
there's
to
a
it
lot
later.
we're gonna have to talk.
Yeah,
But
this
Ice
is
Spice,
dropping bikini bottom. I have no interest
your
in this.
favorite artist.
It's not my favorite artist. I just think like Purvis think she has like one of the worst one hit wonders of all time, which is our topic by the way. 36 minutes in.
Right.
You click the thing. I don't gotta tell you. You're an adult.
Right.
Like if you
You
can't
read the
read,
topic.
you can't get to a podcast. Like
We're all adults here. Get it together.
yeah. Uh, once again, I think she hardly qualifies as one of the worst one hit wonders of all time. I think she is merely a mediocre female artist, and people are treating her like she's the devil because of it, and I think it's fucked up. And also,
I don't know if people treat her like the devil.
dude, I also think like people are spreading like weird information about her, and I can give like a very specific example of one that is like very obviously damaging and
Okay.
also very obviously fake.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was okay. I don't know if you saw the tweet that was going around where someone was like, "This is at an Ice Spice concert," and it's this girl pissing on a guy's face.
I did see that.
Yeah,
Yes.
and the dude's credit, the girl does look a lot like Ice Spice, right?
Right.
But like, that's a death metal band,
Yeah.
and
That's not the
like,
same.
if you click the video and don't immediately retweet it, which is what people are doing because everyone has seen it now.
That's how the internet goes.
Yeah, that's how the internet works. You're right. This is not a unique phenomenon. Uh, how many people? But if you actually click the video and you hear the death metal music, it becomes very obvious that it's not Ice Spice. And it's just, but like, how many people now do you think that's true to some extent? And
If
the
I'm
other thing
being
is that like,
honest,
and the other thing is, I'm just gonna keep it fucking real here right now. I see a lot
yeah,
of people
yeah.
clowning on Ice Spice who fucking defended 6ix9ine, and I'm like, okay, so a girl can't be mediocre, but a dude can fuck kids.
Right.
Like,
Okay. So
this is what I'm pointing out. Like, there's a huge amount of hypocrisy. Do I think she's particularly good? No. Like, I don't think I ever got through Munch. I listened to it once, and I'm like, okay. Like,
I've had enough.
the song's 2 minutes long. I couldn't get through it. I think she's annoying also, but
Okay, here's the thing.
like I just think the way she's being treated is like especially malicious and unfair.
I do agree, and I will say this. In terms of like specifically that video, the reason I said that's kind of just how the internet works. Like people aren't even going to click on the video. They're just going to read the headline, they're going to laugh, and they're going to click retweet or like or whatever it
Yeah.
is. With that being said, I don't really like. I see those not necessarily as like an outlier, but as an exaggeration. Like that's typically just how the internet works. I don't know. This is me personally, so I'm not going to speak for other people and the idiots that are on the internet. But a sane person shouldn't look at that video and now go, "Oh, Ice Spice is this person." She pees on people at a concert, like stuff like that.
I mean, you say that, but
I said
also
a
like,
sane person,
but
a sane
also like,
person.
dude, 40% of the country doesn't believe we went through a pandemic. Like,
Okay, I understand
you
that.
don't. The last few
Okay,
years
our
have really,
definition of
I've,
sane.
the last few years has done irrefutable damage to my opinions of the
The
general
human
public's
race.
media literacy. No, just their media literacy, their ability to understand what they're looking at. So no, I don't. I think a lot of perfectly reasonable people now think that's true. Yeah.
It's just those are two very different things. Though, not understanding that we're in a pandemic is a much bigger
I
deal
understand it's
than
much
seeing
more
a video and
serious,
being like,
but
"Okay,
it's an
this girl."
it's an example that highlights my point. Like that's what
It
I'm saying.
does.
Yeah, and it's just and like that's also just the biggest example. There are so many more.
Right. We could go. Both of us can go for hours.
Yeah, about examples of this weird shit the population believes. So yeah, no, and the other thing is that not only do I say think like just to point out like why I think she's being treated uniquely unfairly. Like not only like can I not think of a male artist who has gotten this much hostility, but I also have trouble thinking of like a female artist who has gotten this much hostility. You know?
So this was actually because we were going to bring this up later anyway, and we're
Yeah,
already
because
talking
you
about it.
think
So
Munch is one
forget
of
it.
the worst one-hit wonders of all time, and like it's not a great song, but like more than Ice Ice Baby, like
Okay, so what I'll say when I put it as one of the worst, that was actually a prediction. And
and I
so the
don't think
reason
that's
I
and to be fair, I don't think that's an unfair prediction. I think that's
all
probably going
right,
to be accurate.
because in reality, when we look at one hit wonders, at least personally, how I look into it,
She has every single sign of a one-hit wonder.
is every single sign.
Every
Like
single sign of
it,
a one-hit wonder.
that
That's
song in
complete.
itself is on the charts, is doing fantastic. But in reality, when you look at the artist and individual themselves, they aren't necessarily that talented.
Yeah.
They were given the platform and they were given an opportunity and they hit it on that one hit.
Yeah.
Now, this will be an example. Bikini Bottom song that's coming out the single, it's already been leaked. The beat is trash. The lyrics are not good. And so, and hopefully this doesn't like get the show canceled. But one of the topics I wanted to bring up, I think that she's gotten more hatred from the quote unquote community than any other male, than any other female that you mentioned. This is one of the first times that I can think about myself. The rap genre and a lot of individuals that listen to rap treat the females, I'm sorry, treat the women in the genre very disrespectfully. They don't really like give it its due all the
Yeah.
time. And so one of the stipulations or the stigmas that are against like the artists is that they just focus on their body. They're able to sell their body. It's been a known thing in marketing since the
Yeah.
beginning
Sex
of
sells.
time.
Sex sells.
Sex sells. And this is one of the examples. Every single thing that you see about Ice Spice, it is not about much. It is not about her music. It is about her body. And she sells it. And that is all that she can sell.
I mean,
And I don't think that is sustainable in any sense. I don't think it'll last in any sense. Power to her. I'm glad she's able to use all of her assets. But like, it doesn't work.
well, what? I don't.
Because if we
I
look
don't
at other
disagree too
artists,
hard. I don't disagree too hard because I agree that's what she's doing. Like there definitely seems to be a conscious effort. With
like
her,
there is
like,
so
yeah.
many TikToks. People are literally listening to it and they'll be like, what did she just say? And it's like, I don't know and I don't care. Look at her ass.
Yeah.
Like that is literally the meme now.
Yeah, and
That is far worse than Lotto. That's far worse than Meg. That's far worse than Cardi B, Nicki Minaj. I can go down the list. All those artists are talented and they sell sex.
yeah,
Because they can.
yeah. I will freely admit that Ice Spice is nowhere near as talented as any of those artists. Right?
Right?
My thing is that like one once again, like I just don't think Ice Spice is any worse than 100 mediocre rappers. As a matter of fact, I can think of many rappers that I think are worse than Ice Spice.
Right.
Like, like I don't think I think it's very wild to say like, oh, she's like as bad as Little Xan or 6ix9ine or something. You know, I just don't think that's true.
And
And
that's fair. It really is.
so, do I think she's mediocre? Sure, but we let hundreds of mediocre dudes, and I think I think this is why she's getting the hostility she is. I think people use the excuse of it's about her body, which I think is also kind of fucked up because one, so what? Everyone before her has done that, and
Facts.
two, I think it's a cold world out there for anybody. She clearly is a poor girl from New York. Use
Hmm.
everything you got because the world gives you nothing. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Use all
yeah,
your assets.
yeah.
I'm not
So
mad at her at
I
all.
don't. I'm not mad. Yeah. So I find it weird to even bring it up because it's just like everyone does this, and like it's clearly like fine. Uh,
It's because it's
but like
enhanced. There's
one,
always another
yeah,
side to it.
yeah. Um, and yeah, do I think she's going to be a one-hit wonder? Probably. She's definitely being set up to it. But also, like, I just think a lot of the hate she's getting is very unfair. And also, I think, like, hating her because of the way she uses her body to promote her music is really fucked up because it's like, she's not doing that for women.
What do you mean?
She,
Now you lost me.
what do you mean? Like, it's not like, you, you say she's using her body to promote her music, right?
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think that's pretty obvious.
Okay.
Um, but like, sell it to who? Who like, you think it's women?
No.
Right. So, and who are the people criticizing her for doing that? Same
The
group.
men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just think like that hypocrisy is just pretty obvious.
Oh, okay. I follow
You see
them.
what I
Sorry.
mean? Yeah.
Sorry. You lost me for a
Like
second, but I
she's
completely understand
doing
what you're
that
saying
to
now.
appeal to dudes, and it's
Right.
working. And then dudes get around and be mad at her for it.
Right.
It's
And
like,
that's just how the
and
freaking
it's just
idiot
like I
males
just
work in
can't.
the genre.
Yeah, and I just can't like co-sign that. Like I'm always going to push against that. Like I don't particularly give a shit about Ice Spice, but I'm always going to push against like the bullshit that's like comes down unfairly on people. And I'll do it when it
Yeah.
happens unfairly. Like an artist we just were texting about before we started the show. God knows next time Isaiah Rajad drops, he's going to be treated unfairly, and I'm going to stand up for him
Yep.
too. Like
100%.
so that's my point. I just think she's being treated very unfairly. I don't like it. And
Okay.
I also
I'm
think
in
it's like
agreement.
wild to think she's like one of the worst one-hit wonders of all time. Like she is very mediocre, but I don't think she's like awful.
I mean, so I guess what I should ask then, regarding the one hit wonders, the list that I made for the quote unquote worst.
Okay, why don't we go finish up the news and
Okay, okay.
we're
Then
gonna
we'll jump back into it.
yeah, we're gonna circle back to this. We gotta get a
This was a big topic.
we gotta rank her.
Okay.
Oh,
because we
because
still
like we
have a
haven't
lot.
acknowledged her existence for most of her career. Like,
It's so funny. Whoever's listening to this, like Brandon and I have mentioned this for about 3 weeks now. It's just like we haven't brought up Ice Spice, and like every
but
week
like
we
the
forget to do
podcast
it.
happens and we just don't think about it. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like she
which
just
is
hasn't been
which
a
is how
topic on the other
which is
things.
like I just don't want to see all this hate around her, so I can go back to not thinking about her. That's my goal
Very true.
here. Like,
Okay, we'll circle back to it. We'll circle back to it. Moving on, some other singles, some other artists that we just mentioned. I mentioned Lotto a second ago. Chloe featuring Lotto is coming out with a song for the night.
yeah,
I think this is going to be a big one. Chloe, I think, has kind of been in the shadow of her sister Haley, in my
Yeah.
opinion. But I think this would be a good resurgence for her. I love some R&B music. I think this is going to be great. Besides that one, We have IDK coming out with Monsieur Dior.
Yeah.
He's been on my listening playlist for a very long time. He's a low-key artist, but he deserves so much attention. Um, Besides that, I will let you discuss this one because I don't know too
Oh
much what's
yeah.
going on.
So Killer Mike released a song called "Talking That Shit," and
Mm-hmm.
it's a dope song. I like it a lot actually. I like it a lot more than I usually like Killer Mike on his own.
Okay.
Uh, or usually, like I really love like his early stuff, and I love the solo album he did produced by LP. But like some of his more recent single stuff, like "Run," I thought it was really good, but I don't think it was at the goated level that I think Killer Mike usually performs at.
Okay.
But the thing is that good song, but it has like traces of the no fuck cancel culture. You can't come from me, and it's like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Like, tell me, don't.
Please no,
I had
not
to
like
go.
this.
I,
We are dealing with too much right
and
now.
like, what was crazy is like, I actually saw a TikTok, and it was like, oh, is Killer Mike worse for black people than Kanye, or worse
Oh
than,
boy.
or like worse than Kanye? And like, I think they made some legitimate criticisms of the guy. He was very buddy buddy with a very awful Georgia politician. But like,
Hmm.
it's not like he endorsed him politically. It's not like he's working on his campaign. He's working for the literal opposition. He just said like, yeah, he was a nice guy when I went on the show with him.
Right.
And like, yeah, like I would not say that about Brian Kemp, but you know, even
Okay.
if he was, I would not say that because I think Brian Kemp's policies are actively destroying people's lives, and it doesn't matter how nice he is. Uh,
Hmm.
but I also like really like the blood in the water is this thick right now, and like on one hand, it's like because I've been thinking about this a lot lately because you know Killer Mike is a special artist to me.
Hmm.
Uh, and you know, you always think like, have you? I remember growing up, and for many years, there was this idea. It's like, how come everyone at the top is always a horrible human being? You know, and like the reason is because we didn't have the accountability that we have now.
Very
You
true.
know, and like yeah,
A
and like
lot more is public now.
yeah, and like now, like we're getting to a point where like yeah, like you're gonna have to kind of be a decent human being if you want to be famous.
Hmm.
And I think like there are going to be examples of people overcorrecting on that, and I think this is an example of that. But I definitely think it's a symptom of a positive societal change. But like, if it's hard when it's like it's coming down unfairly on someone I love so much.
No, I understand
Yeah, and
completely.
like
Yeah.
once again, I think there are plenty of very substantive criticisms of Killer Mike. You know, his real life politics are nowhere near as radical as the politics in his music. Uh, he's very buddy buddy with the NRA. Like, and like, look, be as pro gun as you want. I love that shit. But like, the NRA is a bad place. Like,
The organization itself,
yeah. So
no
I
good.
just basically I just don't want Killer Mike to be the next Kanye, but I don't think he will because I don't
Man,
think he.
Kanye is deep.
Yeah, I don't. God,
We'll get to
let's
that.
get going because
Moving on.
there's actually something I want to talk to you about pertaining to one of our releases. So,
Okay.
uh,
Well, another huge release.
huge
It looks like
release
there's a mini
video.
video tied with it.
Maybe it looks
Um,
like almost like a short film, so I wouldn't doubt that it's something really extravagant.
yeah, I love this. Sis has been quiet for I don't know how long, but Sis is coming out with a single called "Shirt." It has a short film attached to it with Lakeith. What's his last name?
Stanfield.
There you go. Love this. Absolutely. Love the art, the artist, the actor, everything. I
Yeah.
think this is going to be a huge moment
And
within
I'm
the
excited
industry.
for more SZA music at any time.
Yes. This man, we are really. It's a lot.
A lot.
It's a big weekend.
We're an hour into the episode. Like,
Jesus Christ. Okay,
yeah,
moving on to the news.
yeah,
RTJ Quattro, this
yeah,
is you.
yeah. This is all me. Believe it or not, I'm not as hot on this as you think I would be.
Okay.
Because I just see this evidence. It's like, fuck, RTJ5 is not going to be for. isn't it?
Okay, I understand
Uh,
why
but I think
you're
it's
upset.
cool. It's a remix of RTJ4, which I'm really starting to think is a classic. Uh,
A classic, okay.
I'm really starting to think I'm gonna give it a few more years before I really start fighting that fight. But
I'll
the
tell you
fact
what, I'm
that
not upset with you.
the
I'm not upset
fact,
with you.
dude, the time it was released, like while cities were burning, people were uprising. It felt like the greatest societal change in since the '60s. And then they were like, "Fuck it, we were supposed to release this next week, but have it right now."
Drop that now.
like it was. I remember distinctly it dropping at like 11 in the afternoon, like right
Hmm.
before noon, which is a weird time for an album to drop. Uh, and it's a remix of that album, done by Latino producers. So I'm definitely gonna listen to it. Like,
Oh, 100%. You have to.
but it's just, oh fuck, is this a sign that we're gonna quite a while away from RGJ5?
Yeah, you got some time, homie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm
Yeah, and
not
like
gonna lie to you.
and like LP is like worse than Kendrick, but like not as bad as Frank. So
That's a very believe it or not, that is a wide margin.
yeah, like yeah,
Unfortunately.
so it's gonna be a minute, but it's already been like 3 years. Like,
We're coming up.
yeah,
I wouldn't put it past him. I would not.
another one of the great modern hip hop groups. Huge announcement today from the most
Yeah.
chaotic man on Twitter.
We love him though.
Yeah, no, Kevin Abstract, one of the creative geniuses of the next generation. You know how we talk about like Denzel Curry, Jid, and Baby Keem?
Mm-hmm.
I think Kevin Abstract is probably even a tier above them.
Ooh,
Like when you
interesting.
consider like what he did masterminding Brockhampton, holy shit! Like,
It's a lot that goes into it.
yeah, and like I would say it was almost like 10 years ago right now, or maybe less, maybe closer like 2013, 2010. Jesus Christ, it's almost 2023. What is wrong with me? Uh, I remember that time like thinking like, oh, you have like Drake, uh, J Cole, Kendrick. Those are like the big three. But then I
Hmm.
also had like Childish Gambino, and I'm like, he's like on the side because he's a crazy artistic guy. I see
Yeah,
Kevin Abstract in that role.
the crazy artistic guy.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I'm very, very excited for it to come out. Um, I, I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm calling BS on it being the last one. I think if they get a really good response from individuals in the group, if they get a really good response from the fans, I
Yeah.
don't think it's gonna be the last one.
I
I really
definitely.
don't.
I mean, I already said I thought the breakup would might end up being more of a hiatus than a breakup. But yeah, I don't think.
They just did everything they did was the
I don't.
right way. It was all good.
Yeah,
It was all good.
they had
Concerts good,
a
albums good,
hell of a
merch,
run.
everything.
Yeah, no, they
Yeah.
did everything really well. And I went back recently and I re-listened to Roadrunner, their last one,
Hmm.
and like, you know, it's easily like my least favorite, but it's also like completely in the same tier of quality.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean,
it's not
and at
like
that
it's
point,
a,
so much had changed.
and it has some of the best songs they've ever done. You know, Buzz Cut with Danny Brown, a Danny Brown feature with Brockhampton. Fuck.
Love to see it.
No Peace on the Street, so I'm holding my heat.
Okay,
What?
Brandon.
uh, all right, let's keep barreling forward.
We just push it through. Okay. Moving on to Tyler the Creator is playing Jesus in Big Mouth season 6.
Gee,
Brandon, do you watch Big Mouth?
I gave up on Big Mouth, dude.
You gave up on Big Mouth?
I agree that it's like a well written show,
Okay.
but it is just too.
It's so much.
It's ugly. I think like it's a very ugly show. I absolutely. I know it's a common animation style, but I hate it.
Hmm.
and it's just so much. And like, I, the first few seasons were really good. I really really enjoyed them, but it was just
Hmm.
like too much. I'm done. Like
I'm not gonna lie, it is a
I
lot.
just stopped
Big Mouth
enjoying
is
it. There
hard.
was like I think it was the season 5. Like I watched like the first few episodes, and I just once again like it was good. Like I don't. I'm not like if someone says they love Big Mouth, I'm not like, oh, you like that bad show. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But I just it was so much it got unenjoyable,
No, I completely
and
understand.
I
It's
love
on the
everyone
borderline of
involved.
like undigestible because
Yeah,
it's just it is too sexualized. They almost do too much.
they definitely cross that line. And look, I appreciate that they will uh maybe violate some taboos that I think should be violated.
Hmm.
Uh, like they had a transgender character like years ago, and I'm like, oh, I think that's cool. Like, I think like, and I think the idea like, oh, it's maybe it'd be a better world if it was more normal for teenagers to talk about sex. That would probably really rein in child like teen pregnancy and more
I was gonna
seriously
say,
like
yep, yep.
STDs. You know,
It'll
and
fix a lot of issues.
and like on a practical level, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, but I just don't like this show. Like,
It's just it's because it does it to the advances. I won't say like, oh, it's doing too much because that always comes to the negative light. But like in a sense, it's like,
yeah, it's just
okay, you can send a message, but like it's too far.
yeah.
You're doing too much. I love the idea of focusing on both man and woman and how they go through these changes during puberty. And like a lot of shows either focus too much on man or focus too much on women or whatever it might be.
This is a
But like
very good balance.
it's a very good balance.
It really is a show for anybody, like everybody. Like I know plenty of women who like this show.
Hmm.
You know,
So that's its saving grace, I think. But
yeah.
it's a lot, and the idea of Tyler the Creator
As
playing
Jesus, very
Jesus.
fun.
Good God, like
So as
there is
some,
no limitations to
so as
this show.
someone who believes in the divinity of Christ, like, how do you feel?
The fact you just said it that way. Um, are you asking like how I feel religiously, or
Like,
just
do you think it's weird?
it's a little weird. The idea that it's for a show, I couldn't care less because like
Okay,
it's a show. It's a show.
that's a
People
healthy
know
adult way
me.
to have.
Like people know me. I am very religious. It is the first thing that you know about me and my personality. Um, Obviously, if I am being like very strict, and if my father for some reason finds this podcast, I have to say like this is very bad. But like in reality, it's a show. It's Tyler the Creator. They're gonna make a meme out of it regardless.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. All right, that's fair. All right, moving
um,
on. Everyone has cut ties with Kanye. He is
Kanye has cut ties with Kanye himself
okay. So,
as of this
dude,
morning.
dude. Okay, so I got two things I want to bring up.
Okay,
But I
let's roll.
want to make these as quick as possible. So let's make an effort, like, so we can get to
Let's
this
get
show.
into it. We'll
One,
keep it clean.
like, I think it's interesting when we talk about like quote unquote cancel culture or like this new culture of like holding people accountable, right?
Hmm.
I want to like compare and contrast like a little bit just to show like this react how extreme Kanye's action has been and how I think like I think a point I think that makes those reactions to his extreme behavior make a lot of sense is you remember the controversy when Mr. Morales dropped?
Yes.
Yeah, like the very valid complaint that like Kendrick should not have been saying a certain slur. And you remember like how people tried to hold him accountable by making very well, like very thoughtful TikToks,
Yep.
and even then, a huge amount of that community defended him.
Hmm.
And it's like, wow, this stuff really does happen at different scales.
It's correct.
And I think it just goes like earlier this week. I don't know if you heard, but like a neo-Nazi group in California was hanging signs saying we agree with Kanye.
Jesus, I did see that. I didn't know that was neo Nazis.
Yeah, that's a neo-Nazi group in
Jesus.
California.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, literally neo-Nazis. And it came out today that he was almost going to name Ye Hitler.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, 4 different sources have confirmed that he is a fan of Hitler. He's read, I don't know how to pronounce it, Mein Kampf, I believe.
Yeah. He's
multiple
read it
times.
multiple times. I think it's normal to read it once. It
is normal to read it once.
Yeah, it is bizarre to read it multiple times. Because, like, if you read it once, you
understand
any critical thinking skills, first off, clearly hateful. Very big.
Yes.
Also, bad writing. Like,
I haven't read the writing. To be fair.
It's very hard to read for that. Very.
I was going to say, I'll say this. I have no idea anything. I don't know if it's verses. I don't know what the hell it is.
It's a manifesto. It's a manifesto about Jewish control over Europe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was written by Adolf Hitler when he was in jail before he rose to power.
I didn't know this was pre-power.
Yeah, this is pre him coming to power. He was in jail, and then when he left jail, he ascended to power again.
I clearly need to do research because I didn't know Hitler wrote this before power, and I didn't know Hitler was in jail.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
It's fine. I feel like there's like an element of like when you read history, because I'm a bit of a history person. I hate it, but I am. Like as someone who has read about like Hitler, it's okay. You don't have to know this. I don't blame anyone for not knowing these things. Like,
it was not in my U.S. history book.
Yeah, but another thing I did want to bring up was, I'm sure you've seen the memes where people are like, "We're getting Hitler wears Hermes 10 tonight." Like,
do
you think those are comparable?
I don't know.
I think I have a pretty strong argument that they're not the same thing.
All right, let me hear your argument.
Well, first off, like, those sources, it wasn't just that. I know everyone's running with, like, Ye was almost called Hitler, which is in the article. But, like, the thing that disturbed me the most was people were like, yeah, he had, like, a weird adoration for him. He read Mein Kampf a bunch of times and everything. Like, that's the part that makes it more disturbing. Because that title comes from, like, an admiration of the man. Where Hitler wears Hermes is... And I looked this up because I was like, where did this title come from? Because it's a very weird title, and I've thought that before.
I was going to say, we discussed this. Somebody was tweeting. Title. I think it was meme, but still. Someone's done this for a while.
Even outside of this conversation, I do think it's kind of a weird title. It's a play on The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh!
Yeah, Hitler wears Hermes. Yeah.
That makes way more sense. Okay, West Side Gun, I see you.
Yeah. Dude, West Side Gun's a creative genius.
He is. He really is. I'll give it to him. I'm not even mad.
So, yeah, like, it's clearly a parody and also comparing Hitler to the devil.
Which is a bad thing.
Which is fine, which is a good thing.
Right. So no, I'm saying, like, the devil's a bad thing. So, obviously, he understands.
Sometimes.
All right, Brandon. Ideally, most people would say.
Okay. So, moving on. People are being real mean to Steve Lacy.
Okay, now this is something that I needed to discuss.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Brandon, I'm not going to lie to you. I understand there is concert etiquette. The fans are not entitled. I will say this till I die. But every single video, you cannot tell me Steve Lacy is not doing the most. I'm sorry.
No, I completely disagree. If someone throws
in my opinion, Steve Lacy is not a big artist. I'm sorry, he has not made it. He's influential. He has a couple of songs that are trending. He has been made a TikTok meme at this point. Whoa. He suffered that.
What are you talking about when you say doing the most? What are you talking about?
The videos that we've seen of him doing the most. It
Okay,
is
like
the
what do you?
backlash and the
Okay,
reaction to how the fans are
what do
reacting.
you mean by that? Do
Now,
you mean like him breaking that camera because that was
there's
that?
a couple of things. That's just one of them.
But
Now,
like I
understand
think
there's two sides to the
I
story.
am aggressively 100% on Steve Lacy's side on that one.
Breaking the camera, Brandon.
First off, okay, it was a
Breaking the camera? Come on now.
it's
Think about it for a
a
second.
$20 disposable camera that someone
It doesn't
threw
matter how much
that
it
someone
is.
threw.
Someone owns it. He didn't. The person did not throw the camera
I
at him.
think
He
they
asked for the camera.
No, that camera was thrown at him. I've seen the video where he gets hit with it.
How did the fan get the camera back?
I don't know, but
So that's what I'm saying. I don't understand how the fan got the camera back. If there is a camera thrown at Steve Lacy, how did the fan get it back, and why would he ask for it back and break it?
I had not heard that the fan got it back. I had just never heard that.
In the video, he stops the concert. He goes to the fan. He says, "Can I see the camera? Give me the camera." He takes the camera. He smashes it.
I don't know, dude.
Even if we saw different videos, this is a tour. There's multiple stops where something is going tragically
first off,
wrong.
like I think first off, I think some of the things that are going tragically wrong, because I don't disagree with you that this has been a bad tour for Steve Lacy. I don't disagree with that. But one, I think like the first big video, I think is like the people who only know like the hook of.
Yep, that was the first one.
Yeah, but like,
bad habits.
Is that it? Like, what did he do in that video? That's the audience just not knowing, and like, that's. Remember when I sent you that article or that YouTube video by A Perfect Union about Ticketmaster and how they have like this monopolistic control over concert tickets? They've been gouging concert goers for like years now.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the result of that, because the only people who are going to be able to afford tickets are people who are very well off, and people who are very well off tend to be older and not like Steve Lacy. But guess who does? Their kids.
Okay.
This is the result of that, in my opinion. And,
I will give him this. I think that is a terrible situation.
I don't think that's his fault, at all. I don't think. And the other thing is, my understanding is that like people have been throwing shit at Steve Lacy, like, and from what I've seen, because I saw one TikToker talk about it, people were talking about it like as if it was worse than the Kid Cudi situation.
Nah,
well,
maybe.
Okay,
maybe,
but like
maybe,
my thing
maybe.
is that like if it was worse, like I 100% said that like yeah, I think it's unfortunate for the other fans, but like Kid Cudi is a working artist, and also I think how famous or how successful Steve Lacy is completely irrelevant. I would say I would say you shouldn't throw anything at any performing artist ever. I don't care if it's Kid Cudi at a music festival. I don't care if it's the blues musician at Buddy Guy's who works the Friars after his shift. You never throw anything at. Maybe it's just me being someone on stage sometimes, but like. No, never.
So
okay.
I'll say this. Let me take a step back. I fully agree with that. So when I put Steve Lacy concert etiquette, it was two ways. I believe it works both ways. I 100%, I promise you, I 100% agree. Fans do not have any right at all or any entitlement in any sense to be rude, to be disrespectful.
Yeah.
Or any other sense, to be negative to an artist. You are going there for a performance, for an artist that you enjoy, or a type of music that you enjoy.
Yeah, and...
So, if people are going for the hook, whatever, I don't care. It's stupid,
I don't think
but it is what it is.
I can understand why that is going to make Steve Lacy very upset. And also, like, if you leave after Bad Habit, fuck you.
100%.
Yeah, if you leave just after the TikTok song, that's bad etiquette. But
so that's what I'm saying. The etiquette works both ways.
That's not necessarily a bad thing. I understand why it's annoying and why Steve would hate it. But I don't think it's.
So let me ask you this, Brandon. because I think concert etiquette needs to go both ways. I honestly think, yes, if you leave the concert
I
after
agree.
bad
I
habit,
I
you're a
agree.
bad person.
I
But
agree.
Steve Lacy is not in any position whatsoever to be upset. He's
I
not.
I don't know. Like, first off, if it was just the people just knowing bad habit, I would agree with you. So that I'll concede that ground. If it was just that very shitty situation, yes, I would agree that like, yeah, but you reap what you sow. This is the result of that.
It is what it is. It's the
But
song that blew
and
up. You're really not a big
I
artist.
also agree that like, yeah, I do think concert etiquette goes both ways. I think you should actively give a shit on stage. I think you should be relatively on time. I've kind of gotten to the point where like if an artist is within 15 minutes, that's
Yep.
perfect. Uh because you always want to get a beer at like 8:50. You know what I mean? Uh
So,
but
do you
like I
not
do
think he is out of line in some sense? Because,
I
like,
mean,
it, and I know
I
it
know.
doesn't matter
I
how
know.
popular he is, because, like, regardless, you deserve respect as a human being. You do.
Yeah.
But in reality, if you're looking at a fan base, if your fan base is very minimal, you're not a large time artist, you're not a like major headline at a festival, do you really like you can't be upset. I don't think I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be straightforward. You don't have a right to be upset at somebody only knowing your hood.
No, if that's the case, sure. I will agree with you about that. Yeah. Um or I don't know. I think maybe you don't have a right to be upset is maybe a bit harsh, but you don't have a right to put on a worse show for that reason. 100%.
That's my point.
That
So I
that
feel like he's been putting on worse shows in general.
yeah, but I
There's been so many memes of bad shows. There's been a new one that was released today
what was it?
of how the smoke machine, the smoke machine was doing too much, and in the middle of him doing one of his songs, it wasn't even Bad Habits. It was just a regular song. He literally like was throwing a tantrum. He was like, "God damn, fuck, where the smoke is at? Who's controlling the smoke?" Like in the middle of the song, it was like coughing and dying. I understand
Yeah,
you're up there to perform, and smoke can absolutely affect your
yeah,
singing.
on one hand like
But now you're yelling at the stage performer? Come
uh,
on now. The person controlling the smoke,
I mean they
just
should
perform the song. Walk out the damn smoke.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely, but like once again, like I don't think that's unreasonable. Like because
But I'm
like
just saying, the
it's
smoke's
like
there.
have you ever
Continue the show. What
you
you
ever
gonna
tried
do?
to
Blow the smoke away?
yeah, but have you ever tried to perform in smoke? It's really hard.
I mean, I'm sure it's hard, but
Yeah.
my goodness, you there to please the fans.
No, I
In reality, it's a two-way transaction. I'm
and I
paying you
think there's a
money to perform for me.
and look, I would not I would not I would not deny that like I have not seen this video. So I don't know, but like maybe if you handled it poorly, like yeah, that's shitty. You should still prioritize the artist's responsibility is like to perform for the fans. So yeah, I get that. But the other thing is that like if something happens and it makes it impossible to perform, like what are you supposed to do though? And like smoke is I think very obviously one of those things. And I'm not saying like Steve Lacy hasn't been having a meltdown. I'm just saying like you know, maybe we have to start looking at the trees from the forest a little bit on this
Mm-hmm.
and give him a little bit of grace. Because while I agree that him not getting the fan base he wants does not entitle him to blow off shows,
He's left shows, like walk out of shows,
but like once again, I have heard that he's walking out of shows because people are throwing shit at him, and
which is valid.
once one per if I was like advising an artist and someone threw something off like threw something at them on stage, I would advise them to keep going. But once one thing gets on thrown on stage, like with the intention to hit them. Like it's one thing, like if it's like, oh, someone threw a water bottle and it's 40 feet away from the artist, that's completely different.
Right.
But like when someone's throwing shit at Steve Lacy trying to hit him, and apparently I've heard like people are like throwing shit at him because he only played Bad Habits once.
Oh, that's shitty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it
And,
works
like,
both ways. It does.
Yeah. And it's like
Bad concert etiquette works both ways.
Yeah, once again, like I think it works both ways. And in this case, I think it comes down mostly on the audience. To be honest with you, I agree with the overall thing that hey, just because your concert is still a TikTok teens, not cool hipsters, that doesn't give you the right to not do a show. Agree.
Okay, so I have
1,000%.
one last question then. I have one last question. And we'll move on after this because we've been going on for a while. In reality, between Steve Lacy and the concert goers, both of them are in the wrong. Would you not agree?
To different degrees, yes.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's a two-way street.
No, yeah, and yes, I would say I would say the phrase concert etiquette is a two-way street. Yes, yeah. I 100% agree with that. You know.
Okay, and we kind of glanced over this with the Astroworld stuff. Is it easier? And this is a general question. This is not to sway towards one direction or another. I swear to God. Is it easier to blame one person, the artist, or is it easier to blame the fans, which is a collective group?
I mean, it's harder to hold the fans accountable. And, like, the other thing is sometimes, like, shit just happens. Once again, like, I do not bemoan Steve Lacy for getting upset that, like, he has this audience. Like, I think, like, the kind of mental effect that's going to have on you, I think is kind of makes sense to me.
Do you think he's not ready?
I'm possible.
Just genuinely curious. Do you think he's not ready?
100%. You know, like
I don't think he's ready.
I also like and it's very similar and also the complete opposite of like what I saw with Don Toliver.
Okay, explain.
See, Don Toliver, I say it's less of an etiquette thing and more of like just the ability to do that. You know, like it just seemed like he was getting winded. He wasn't able to do it. As far as concert etiquette goes, like he was certainly putting all of his effort into entertaining the audience. So I think in that regard, he's golden. Okay. But he was simply not ready. It's a different kind of not ready, but like, yes, he was just simply not ready to be.
Okay. All right. Well, we do have a topic.
Yeah, we have a main topic. We should have vibe session.
A good one. Yeah. Right. We should have vibe session this week. We didn't know it was going to be this big. Yeah. But we do have a great topic.
Yeah, we have a great topic. We want to talk about some of our favorite hip hop one-hit wonders.
Okay. I think we should start off with the list. Is that fair? Yeah, or should we start off with the definition?
Yeah.
It's up to you.
No, let's do the definition. That's a good call.
Okay. So, and I was kind of touching on it earlier when we were talking about Ice Spice. In my definition of a one-hit wonder, a good one-hit wonder is a song that reaches its peak potential. It spans out to all of the masses. It does what it's meant to do in that one moment. It actually captures a moment in time. And then, nothing. And when I say nothing, any other projects, music, whether it be albums or singles that the artist puts out, is damn near irrelevant.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I would change that definition just a little bit. Okay. And I simply think it is an artist with one song on the Billboard charts.
Okay.
You know, like if we go into your list,
okay, I could just start off. I could jump right into it.
But like, I think there are examples of, and I think most artists who like that, it's because they only have one good song. I think that is the most common version of this phenomenon. But I also think there is plenty of artists who have like full careers like in a non-mainstream capacity.
Mhm.
But then they only have the one song that everyone knows.
Okay.
You know, and
Yeah.
we could start your list with Biz Markie.
Just a
Everyone,
friend.
everyone knows "Just a Friend," one of the best songs of all time,
It is one of the best songs of all time. Great
and
storytelling, great beat. The way
he's
he
like known as
performs,
being like a really quality artist with like a very respected catalog. But this
he
was his
really
only
is.
hit.
But this was the one hit.
Yeah,
Just a friend charted, and it was insane. It
yeah,
was
it
a
was
great
a mega
song.
hit. Yeah,
It deserves it, honestly.
100% deserves it. And
It's
like,
so good.
and the thing I think is interesting about Biz Markie is that even people talk about him with so much respect, but people do say like, yeah, he's a one hit wonder in that way. Like he
Oh
only
yeah.
had the one hit. So I think Biz Markie is like the prime example of like this is not exclusively a bad thing, right?
Mm-mm.
Um,
I think this is a prime example of something that is positive, both for the culture and for the
I
artist. Because,
definitely,
like you
yeah,
said, he has other discography out there. It just didn't hit.
yeah,
It put his name on the map, and it just didn't hit. And it's okay because you made a name for yourself. People know who you are.
I 100% uh, agree with the that this is one hit wonders are a unilaterally good thing for the culture
Hmm.
because they can just like inject creativity like directly, like an adrenaline shot.
Literally,
You
and
know,
it reaches out to fans that really don't have the opportunity to get into it.
yeah, and um, and it can innovate in a way. It can. I think about how like a designer, even though he only has the one song, like he really
Panda,
kind of perfected the blueprint for the trap radio single. And
he
you know,
really would.
no one's gonna deny that Future's the better artist. Even I would say Future is clearly the better artist.
Not even
Uh,
comparable.
and even to be fair, I liked Future's last album, uh, but he was the first one to go number one with it.
Hmm.
You know, so I think they can be a spike uh, of creativity and innovation for the genre and the culture. So that is why I think they're really cool. I
Yeah, and
do
that's why I
think,
added it.
yeah, I do think though, more often than not, the artist is either like just not good enough to produce more songs like that. Um, they aren't very versatile. I think is
Hmm.
also very common. Or the one song hits and like everything else is fine, but it's just un
It's not there.
it's un. And I think about Lunez, I Got Five on It, like classic song,
Yeah.
classic, one of the all times.
And what even it's made a resurgence because of the movie. What was it called? You? What's the movie called?
Yeah, you.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
us. It
So
was
the movie
us.
You, us.
You
It
was
it
the
made a
TV show. Yeah,
resurgence within the culture.
yeah.
And so okay, so for
No,
people
I've
who
been
don't
listening
know,
to that
we're
song
going
forever.
through.
Like,
That's what I'm saying. Who for people, the listeners, we're going through my top five.
yeah,
So my first one is Designer Panda. Second one, Biz Markie, Just a Friend. And then another one I had was Lunez. I got five on it. And I
yeah,
think that's a staple to the culture. It's so important, and it's been, like I said, a resurgence within the movie industry right now.
yeah,
The
yeah.
other one I have, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Another one I had is Skilo I Wish.
Classic.
This has made a staple within the basketball genre. Basketball and hip hop is so intertwined, it's insane. They're
Basketball
like, I
might be
wish
the
I was
fifth
a little
pillar.
bit taller. I wish I was a baller. Like that
Yeah,
is just implanted into my mind
there
now.
are rock songs that use that. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like it's a damn near classic. We
yeah,
can say
no,
a
it's
single is
classic.
a classic.
Oh no, I think a lot of one hit wonders, like really, it's just an artist with one classic song. Like
Yeah, it's
because
just one classic song.
I and we have our worst one hit wonders, which we'll get to.
We'll get to them
And
eventually.
another thing is
So
that
let me
like
say my last one. The last
yeah,
one is Rejects by Cat Daddy. Absolutely love that song.
yeah,
Chris Brown goes crazy. Song crazy.
yeah. All right, should we go over mine?
Yeah.
Okay, because then we can pivot to a slightly different conversation about like what disqualifies Like,
I love yours, by the way. Your top five, fantastic.
yeah, okay. So first up, questionable on if it's a one-hit wonder, but undeniably a one-album wonder. Fetty Wap, Trap Queen. Like,
So that's what I was gonna say. Is this really Fetty Wap?
he had,
He had a grip on the culture
but
for
like
a while.
but it was only one album, and like
It was only one album.
all those songs. Look, I like all those songs. I love 679. I love Mine. I like Trap Queen. I like all of his big hits. But like they all are kind of Trap Queen again. Like it's just Trap Queen is so
Let's call
good.
it what it is.
Yeah, it's just Trap Queen again. And also like for reference, this is my prediction for Ice Spice. I think she's going to be Fetty Wap, but not as good.
We are going to get to that. Wait, damn it.
Yeah. Then my other one is Because I Got High by Afro Man.
Great song.
Yeah, no, like he has other songs that like because me and my friends are 18-year-old stoners we loved, but like no one knows any of them besides Because I Got High.
Right. I mean that Because I Got High is a staple.
It's a staple. No one has. It's the best song. The next one, kind of bringing in a one-hit wonder from the Bling era, which I think the Bling era, which is kind of like before both of our times, you know. They had a lot of one-hit wonders, and my favorite was always "This Is Why I'm Hot" by Mims.
Bro, that is such a good song.
It's a very good song and very definition of a one-hit wonder.
Oh yeah, because honestly, there's nothing else to really go off of.
Okay, then the next one, Tuesday by I Love Macomb.
This song, Brandon.
This song had the culture in a chokehold. Like I was in college, I was in bars and clubs every weekend. Holy shit! This song like changed the service industry for a year. Like
it honestly did. It
like,
honestly
it made
did.
Tuesdays like a busy night, and like I feel very bad for anyone who is like worked like in service and like had to go to school on Tuesday nights but still had to work.
Yeah.
Like
I was gonna say I used to go to
2016.
church on Tuesdays.
Yeah. But yeah, and Drake jumped on the remix too,
Which made the song even better.
which even bigger. But
And
it popped
honestly
off
did.
before Drake was on the remix. This was one of those.
Mm-hmm.
And then the
I
other
agree.
one, and I don't know if this is exactly fair because it's a bit of a local one. I don't know how national this song got. But I do know that like people were bumping it at my siblings' college. People were listening to it everywhere. It's Fifi on the Block by Stunt Taylor.
Beefy on the Block took over the culture, and I feel like that was one of the rare songs. And like, pardon.
Yeah, I love this song, and I also have like a very fun personal connection to it.
So what I'm gonna say about Fifi on the Block, and hear me out.
Okay.
Fifi on the Block was one of the few rare songs that was actually meant for Black people.
Yeah.
And when I say that, there's a lot of hip hop rap songs and albums that are out there that just appeal to the masses.
Yeah, they appeal to
Fifi
everyone.
on the Block was meant for Black people.
Yeah, that's the vibe I got. Have I ever told you how I know Stunt?
No, I didn't know you know Stunt at all.
I do. Yeah, like if I walked into him on the street, I've seen him like multiple times on the street. I talked to him. As everyone knows, I kind of like dabble in filmmaking a little bit, and I had one movie that like I actually sent to festivals, got awards, right? And I had written a role in it for my buddy Muhammad, who is but he was in Iraq at the time. And so then we did an open casting call for it, and this kid who was in one of my classes named Quentin came in. He was a real large dude, and he gave the most incredible audition I have ever seen in my life. It's just the most mind-blowing thing. And I was like, I immediately need this guy in my movie. Holy shit. And then we just became friends, you know? We became really good friends. He was with me throughout the creative process. His name was Quentin Taylor, and loved the dude. His cousin was Stunt, and he introduced me to him. And he used to hang out a lot in the South Loop. I used to see him out there all the time. Stunt, if you hear this, you're a cool dude. I like you, but you're a one-hit wonder, and Fifi on the Block is a classic.
It's a classic, and you deserve that.
and look, I say this with love. Like, that song defined a moment in so many people's lives.
Yeah.
And when I was like, fuck, I need one more one-hit wonder, and then I thought of this one, I'm like, I'm fucking cool. Like,
no, I get it. I really do.
yeah. But yeah, so as we can tell, like, there's plenty of room for one-hit wonders to be excellent.
I mean, the ones that we mentioned, I feel like all of them create or establish themselves in the culture. Like they really do. Yeah. They have a month or more, like a season.
Yeah.
Right? It just kind of sits itself in the culture. It's one of the leading songs on the thing, but like in reality,
they're also kind of evergreen in a way.
Yeah.
Like if you're at a party right now and you got I Got Five on it on your playlist, that shit's gonna go off. Tuesday.
And it's going to show your music taste.
Yeah, literally any song of these 10 that we listen to, like, you throw on a playlist, people are going to be like, I fuck with that. Like, but unfortunately, like, what is popular...
Yep.
Oh, real quick, before we get into worse, before we start shitting on 5 people who deserve it and 1 person who will deserve it, probably, because I want it to be clear what my opinion is on this person.
Okay.
You actually told me I couldn't have one of my favorite artists as a one-hit wonder because I was going to say Belly. Because as much as we listen to Belly, he only has one song that ever charted, and it's Might Not featuring The Weeknd.
So here's the thing. I don't consider Belly a one-hit wonder for actually several reasons.
Yeah, and I want to hear you unpack this because I'd like to revisit Belly for a minute because God knows we revisit Nav all the time.
So there's a couple of things, and I'm going to take a couple of different angles at it. I'll start at what I did explain to you.
Yeah, and some of these I agree with.
Yeah, so I think the first thing to kind of go over, Belly is a very unique talent. And when I say that, Belly is a writer. He was a writer, I want to say, before he was an artist. And throughout his career, he's written for other people. And those songs have charted. He's written for very big, high names. I believe he's written for Beyonce, for The Weeknd, for a couple other people.
Yeah.
And all of those songs have charted. That's why I don't say he's a one-hit wonder, because he's responsible.
He was the writer on Blinding Lights.
That's what I'm saying. He is responsible for a lot of songs that charted.
Yeah, for a lot of songs that charted.
Another angle on top of that, the songs that did chart that are claimed under his name, Brandon, if we're being honest, it's because of the features.
Oh, The Weeknd?
Think about it. Do you think the song would have charted without The Weeknd?
I think it deserves to chart without The Weeknd, but yeah, you're right.
That's what I'm just saying. It's a popularity game. It's how the media works. Yeah. It's how business works in the music industry.
I don't bemoan that 1 minute. No, that makes total sense. Like, yeah.
So
I think it deserves it, but yes, I agree with that.
Right, and so I'm just saying, I think personally, and this is a credit to Belly. It's not even a negative.
No, I don't. I think these are all compliments, which is why I'm enjoying this conversation.
Yeah, I think it's a credit to Belly. I think he is both too good to be considered a one-hit wonder. And I also think his individual projects are not quite there to be considered a one-hit wonder.
That's fair.
So I think him as a personality, as himself, as a full business entity as a whole, he's done too well to be considered a one-hit wonder.
That's fair.
But on his individual music, it hasn't even reached that point. Just because off of popularity alone.
Yeah, because he hasn't had like a song feature that doesn't have anyone on it.
That's what I'm saying. There's no songs that's charted without features.
And also,
The Weeknd, he's going to promise you to be top 10.
Yeah. And another thing is that a ton of our favorite artists like don't chart at all. Like,
Not at all. They
like
really
all the
don't. And
Griselda
don't
guys,
even care.
yeah, all the Griselda guys are no-hit wonders technically, but
Hmm.
like they're also the best people at making music right now.
About to say they own classics and they do not chart.
Yeah,
And what does that say about charting?
is that like, while we can think of plenty of good songs that chart, there are definitely some bad ones.
Right. And so with that being said,
Let's get into it. We decided to do
I
three.
think you should go first because personally, what we should say as a definition, it's a double-edged sword. A one-hit wonder is really a double-edged sword. You get your moment of fame, you get the money, which
Yeah.
is important. People don't like to talk about that, but finances are important in your life.
Yeah,
You
no,
get the
definitely.
money off of it.
Yeah.
But I personally, and this is another discussion we could have, I personally think that one hit wonders are typically one hit wonders because of the artist. A lot of times when we look at these songs, the song individually is actually a decent song. But the artist,
Just isn't able to either do something new or innovate, or they're just kind of fine. Or
they don't
or
have
they're
it.
bad. Or they're just not good at making more songs.
They just don't have it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you can start with your definition in your top three.
Well, no,
Or
I don't.
worst three.
Well, no, like, I don't. I agree. It's just like what's necessarily popular is not necessarily what's good. Right?
Mhm.
And the other thing is that I'll start with the one that I think is probably going to be the least controversial. Is the song Chain Hang Low by Jibbs. I just hate it. I just think it's very annoying. And
I don't think it's a good song.
oh,
I don't.
no one does.
It has nothing to do with the artist personally, myself. I just think
Yeah,
in
it's
general,
a bad
yeah,
song.
chain halo, does it wobble to the floor? I don't think it's a good song. I think it's catchy. I do. I think it's catchy. I don't think that makes it a good song.
Yeah, it's a meme song. It's a meme song
Yeah.
before we were all on the internet. Like,
Facts.
so I think like that was just, and that song always rubbed me the wrong way, and like low key, like that was the biggest song in the world when I was like 13.
The biggest song in the world.
Yeah, well, that was the song a lot of people were singing, and it's like, oh shit, maybe I don't like hip hop. Yeah, no, like
Man,
really.
I'm glad that that changed.
Yeah. All right, the next one I'm gonna go with is just because like I do think the song is like kind of bad, like in a vacuum. I don't think the
Okay.
guy is awful, but like he's just very clearly like if you made a one-hit wonder in a lab, this is what it looks like, and it's Ice Ice Baby, Vanilla Ice.
So I was gonna put this as one, but I was like, I need to leave something for Brandon.
Yeah,
Ice Ice Baby is not a good song. It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, no, it's just not a good song. The only thing is that like I remember there was a huge controversy that he basically stole a Queen beat. And he
Oh, I
did.
did not know this
Oh no,
at all.
the beat from Ice Ice Baby, that dun 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 dun, dun,
Yeah.
that's a Queen song.
I could see it.
And yeah, and the thing is that like the beat is literally just a single hi hat added to the Queen riff. That's it. Like it's not like it's. I feel like out of respect for sampling, I don't want to call it sampling. But I do think like and like people kind of ate him alive for that, and like on one hand, I'm like, yeah, that kind of deserves it. That's kind of shitty. And on the other hand, I'm like, it's good that we understand sampling is like,
Right.
and just like talk about like an inauthentic, not part of the culture song. Like,
I was gonna say it's a second layer to it because a lot of people did not appreciate this man, this white man coming in with Ice Ice Baby,
yeah. And look,
trying to be a staple to the community.
Vanilla Ice seems like a very nice guy. He seems like a perfectly fine human being, and it's nice to talk about someone with an awful music career and a nice personality for a change. But
He's a perfectly fine individual.
yeah, but like there's just that thing. It's like culture vulture before culture vultures were really a thing,
Mhm.
And I think as
before they were a thing.
yeah,
Facts, yeah.
yeah. And the other thing is, I do think like when you look at someone like Vanilla Ice, it becomes immediately clear like why the Beastie Boys hit a lot harder at the time. Because
Mm-hmm.
these are both pre Eminem, and like I know you probably don't give a shit about the Beastie Boys, but like you could just immediately look at them and see they're not Vanilla Ice.
I respect the Beastie Boys. I know what role they play within the community, and I
Within the,
respect them. I
I
really
feel
do.
like they have a respected role within the genre,
Right, the genre.
but
I
I
guess
don't
that's a
know
better
how
word to
much they
say.
are within the culture. That's the thing.
So I will say this: I think the Beastie Boys serve a purpose to introducing hip hop to a new demographic.
Yeah,
I will say, they do a very good job of bringing in their own talent to show that hip hop can be expanded.
yeah, and they did it in a
Um,
way that was
Respectful.
not. Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
exactly.
respectful. They didn't push the boundaries. They didn't try to copy or either try to like show that they were like a
Yeah.
different type of person. They fit within their own realm, within what they were actually capable of doing and expressing, and
You know,
they excelled at it,
yeah,
in my
you know
opinion.
the Beastie Boys were the first co-sign.
Okay,
They were the co-signed by Run DMC.
even more respect.
Yeah, like, and how much more respect can you get? Like,
Right, I'm about to say, at that point, you're
yeah, like,
in.
and it was, I think it was like their. I remember reading in a book. It was about the come up of NWA, and I read it right after Straight Outta Compton came out to
Hmm.
kind of parse fact from fiction. And it was like one of the first managers or agents or something of NWA. They picked him because he was the agent of the Beast. So I think that's cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So let's get to my last one, and I think this one, like in some senses, I think he kind of pushes the boundary of what is a one-hit wonder. But I think he very firmly, by both of our definitions, falls into it, and that's Gummo by 6ix9ine.
Man,
This song had a hold on the culture.
like a hold,
Yeah.
negative hold.
And I think the thing is, like, you might not go to 6ix9ine as a one hit wonder because he's always in the discourse, but it's never for music. It's never
Hmm.
because people are listening to his music. Like,
Yeah, it's true. It really is. I feel like 6ix9ine it's in itself served a purpose of negativity because of what he brought with
yeah.
everything.
Yeah, and
Um,
like, and you know, 6ix9ine is like,
he's a snitch. I
yeah,
mean, let's
he's,
call it what it is. Let's
oh, you
call it what
think
it
that's
is.
the worst thing
The
he's done?
reason, no. I'm just saying.
he's,
Hell no, that's not the worst thing he's done. I'm just saying if we calling it what it is, the reason he got canceled by other artists is because he's a snitch.
yeah, and
Now
also,
what?
like, I respect that. Like,
No, yeah, I mean, absolutely, he should be canceled. What I'm saying is, like, from other artists, he's a snitch. From fans, he's fucking insane. Has done immoral things.
yeah.
So it is interesting because 6ix9ine, I saw you added him. 6ix9ine has more than one hit. If we're being honest,
Does he, though?
I'm gonna look it up. Hold on. Actually, though, because I'm just curious.
I know he had one other big song, but I think it was a feature on Nicki Minaj.
Bro, his music, the top five, all of them are in the hundreds of millions. Like, as much as you and I personally hate on 6ix9ine, 6ix9ine
Wait, does he?
had a career.
Oh, yeah.
6ix9ine
Yeah,
had a career.
yeah, he had a career, but like, oh no, I don't want to follow this dude.
But it canceled all of it. His actions cancels all of it. Goomba, 400 million thousand. BB, 500 million thousand. Fifi, 700 million. Like, people listen to 6ix9ine.
Yeah, but I don't think he had like a when we talk about like the hold on the culture thing. I understand. Like I think it's kind of like French Montana syndrome a little bit.
I think it's worse than that. I think he plays a villain role.
Yeah,
Like he feels a villain role where like I hate this artist so much, and then people started listening.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just thought like one. I always thought his music was just bad. Like I did not think
I
he would.
mean,
Huh?
it's not good music. Let's be honest, it is not.
You know? And like I was always appalled when people defend him, and it's like, oh, it's oh,
So Brandon, fill me in because I could be mistaken. What's the situation with what is all that 6ix9ine does? Because I know him as a filthy snitch.
yeah,
I know him
he's a
as a piece of
snitch.
shit,
He's a
but
snitch. The main
he's
thing
done more.
he was found guilty for something with a 13-year-old girl.
Jesus Christ. I
Yeah.
did not know that.
So it's
My
like,
goodness.
yeah, which is why, like, when I see someone like, I'll call him out because we have such a smaller audience. When I see someone like DJ Academics who, like, like, made
Supports him.
excuses.
He supported him.
Yeah, he supported 6ix9ine and now he's going after Ice Spice. It's like, hold up. You think a girl showing ass is worse than being a pedophile? Like,
Jesus Christ.
which is, you know, that was my main crux of the Ice Spice thing, which I will not be repeating. Because
we're still gonna get into
because
it
like
in general.
my thing is, do we want to transition to yours then?
Yeah, I'll just start this one. I'll save it for last. My first one, Silent to Watch Me, Brandon.
Yeah, it's a dance.
I hate this song so much.
It's a dance. It's annoying. It's
I hate the. I think I hate the song because I hate the dance. Watch me whip, watch me nay nay. I think that ruined Vine and TikTok.
Yeah, I agree. And like once you get to like, I think the thing is like nowadays like everything it's less one hit wonder and more like viral.
That is very true.
Yeah. Oh,
it just went viral.
Also, quick thing. I was looking up like who are one hit wonders. Like, what's a list I could look at to refresh my memory? The amount of people who had Lil Nas X as a one hit wonder, I'm like, what planet are you?
No, that is extremely false. As much as I don't listen to Lil Nas X,
yeah,
I know that he is not a one hit wonder. He has multiple songs.
Multiple huge songs,
and he is continuing to have multiple songs.
Yeah,
that will chart.
Yeah, that was just,
and I'm calling it now.
Yeah, and look, maybe in 2019 you could have said like, oh yeah, can you really follow up Old Town Road? But every single release since then has been like,
I was about to say in 2022, you know he can follow up Old Town Road.
Absolutely. You know,
right.
There's even a question now: is he even in hip hop? And I would say no, to be honest. Not that I have love for Lil Nas X, but like, no, I think he's firmly in pop. But like,
okay, I was literally about to say, are you going to say pop? But yeah, I can understand pop. Even within itself, Lil Nas X is a very unique person where he breaks genres.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say he's like groundbreaking, insane things, but like he's been able to tap into country, he's been able to tap into hip hop, rap, pop culture. It's a whole bunch of things. Him individually within himself, he has touched multiple different
He has
genres.
done all of it, and he has done all of it like while making just good songs. You know,
while making just good songs.
Yeah, I think we could all agree that, like, you know, if someone was like, "Hey, do you want to listen to 4 Lil Nas X songs or 4 6ix9ine songs?" I think we know who you're gonna. I think, like, if you said any of these 6 artists, I would pick Lil Nas.
Lil Nas X deserves his flowers. I'll give him that.
Yeah. So yeah, the viral songs are just too much. And
so I guess
and your second one's a viral song too, which I think is interesting because you're younger than me.
It is. I wanted to throw this in here. The Fanatics don't drop that Dantano.
Yeah, always been super annoying. I don't.
Extremely annoying song. But this is one of the other ones, like I said when you were saying the Fifi on the Block, the Don't Drop That Dantano was really for the black community. But I don't think it's a good song in any sense. I really don't. I think it's very annoying, the lyrics. I don't think it's catchy even in its sense. It serves its purpose where it's like you'll dance at a party, on like the dance floor, somebody dropping, don't drop that, dun dun dun. And like you'll kind of get in the line and kind of do your little twerking or whatever. But in a sense, the song in it by itself is not good.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I want to talk about
No, yeah.
within the three worst one hit wonders. What I think personally, what makes it a worse three one hit wonder is if the song in itself really isn't that good and the artist doesn't have much talent. And which brings me to my third one, which is a prediction. Ice Spice with the song Munch. You said it yourself. You haven't even finished the song. I don't think Munch is good. But Munch is charted.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it's charted. But like, there's no sugarcoating it.
Yeah, no,
But I don't think it's a good song, and I don't think the artist has any talent.
Well, first off, I agree with that last part. I don't know if she has any talent, and I'm betting that she doesn't, to be honest. Okay. My thing is though, like, yeah, like I couldn't get through Munch, but like, boy, if I had to listen to one of these 6 songs, it's probably second.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I would much rather sit through Munch than watch me drop that thumb for the Gummo, Chain Hang Low. I might put Ice Ice Baby above Munch. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty confident I would put Ice Ice Baby above Munch.
Okay.
Which, can you blame me? Like,
no, I'm not mad at you in any sense.
Yeah, like, and I don't.
So Munch in itself isn't a terrible song. Yeah, but no, like, it's not a good song.
No, I don't think it's a terrible. I actually think, like, yeah, it's not a terrible. It's not terrible. I don't think. I think she's being set up as a one-hit wonder. But my immediate pushback was just that, like, you got to give her a chance, though. Like,
okay, like, so
you
when
look,
I say prediction,
I agree with you. I agree with you that I think that's the most likely outcome. But like, how often has unexpected things happen?
So what I'll say is this: but within the music industry, it's very harsh and it's very cutthroat. Like, in one moment you're in, and the next moment you're not. And we're starting to see that even within classic names that have led the industry for fucking decades. Kanye West can be in one day and out the next.
Yeah,
and
but
understandably, there's a reason. That's what I'm saying. There's a reason behind it.
Yeah,
100%. There's a reason behind it. But what I'm saying is, in reality, let's take a step back because we haven't really talked about Ice Spice on this podcast yet.
I mean, we talked about her a lot this episode.
This episode, yes. But previous to the episode, she's been out for over a month, and we haven't even touched on it. So on the Ice Spice individually herself, does she really, and hear me out, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, does she really deserve more?
I mean,
like, let's be honest. Does she really deserve more?
Yeah, but like,
I personally do not think Ice Spice has any talent within her.
You know what? I'm actually going to say yes.
I don't think.
I'm going to say yes because God knows how many.
Are you saying that because of internet reactions? Or are you saying that because you truly think she has a talent?
No, I'm saying that because we have given more chances to people with even less talent before. And so why are we going to even block her before she even has a chance to release a second song? You know, like...
Okay, so...
You know, like, it just
let's say...
I just don't believe in counting anyone out. Like, yeah, there are artists I really dislike, but you at least can attest that because I've listened to albums worth of their music, Ice Spice has a song.
A song, right. One song, really.
And, like, once again, like, I don't think that's an unfair prediction that she will end up being a one-hit wonder. But I gotta give her a chance to not be one, though. Like,
But that's the thing. No, so when me adding Ice Spice Munch, it's a prediction. Yeah. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, I don't fault you for that prediction.
All right, if I'm taking a step back, Munch is not a good song. You didn't even finish it. I didn't even finish it. Yeah. Every single TikTok reaction that I've seen, they're looking at her ass and didn't finish it. Let's call it what it is. So
Yeah, but like
if
once again
Bikini
though,
Bottom, I'm just saying, if Bikini Bottom drops and it's already been leaked that people have been clowning the beat out of it, that sounds like a Mr. Krabs meme. Where do we go from here? Are we really finna give this girl a platform to be like, okay, you got a nice body. Let me give you a
no, I
platform to
think that's
continue to
wildly
dress music.
no. I think you're being wildly unfair. Just because like
What else would you give her?
I mean, it's not about what we give; it's about what she takes. You know, I mean, my immediate thought goes to like, yeah, but she also has a collab with Cardi B coming, and
She does
like,
have a collab with Cardi B.
also, I can think of at least two female artists that I think we could all agree have way more talent than we expect Ice Spice to be, but we would have written them off their first single the same way. And one of them is
As a
Cardi
share.
B, you
Okay.
know, and like, look, Cardi B's not
I
good.
honestly, I'm
Cardi
not
B's
even gonna
not,
lie. I don't remember what the first single is.
oh, it was like this lick song, and then Bodak Yellow was when people started taking her seriously.
That is true.
Yeah,
Featuring 21 Savage.
yeah. Was Bodak Yellow? Was 21 Savage on Bodak Yellow?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't.
I I remember. I like hot sauce on my chicken or something like that.
I'm looking this up right now. I don't. I don't necessarily deny it, but also she was a no. She was the only one.
Nah, hold on.
There was a remix.
I'm
Of
finna
Kodak
push
Black.
back against this. There's no way Bodak Yellow did not include 21 Savage.
Go to the credits right now.
Nah. Oh, that's Cardi. That's Cardi or Barty or Cardi. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
that's a
lied.
different song. She had a
Cardi
remix
or
with
Cardi.
Kodak
Different
Black,
song.
right? But we would have said the same thing about Cardi B. We would have.
Mm-hmm.
People did say the same thing about Doja Cat after that "Moo on My Cow" song.
Ooh, that's a good point. That's
Yeah,
a good point.
and like people were completely willing to write her off. Purvis, the fact of the matter is, you don't know if Ice Spice is the next Doja Cat. Nobody does. We're not in the future. And I don't know if you've heard.
Oh, 100%.
I don't know if you've heard some of those middle songs by Doja Cat, but they're kind of rough. But I think we can all agree it's paid
She's
off
made
in the
it.
it's paid off in the long run.
She's made it, right. She is a top tier
Yeah.
pop
Do
artist.
I, as Brandon Scavone, think that's going to happen to Ice Spice? Probably not, but I didn't think it was going to happen to Doja Cat either, so what the fuck do I know? Like, to me, it just seems unfair to counter out while Munch is still on the charts. You know?
Should we,
And, it's,
and
once
honestly,
again, like,
should we come back to this?
I also think you should only ever deplatform people when they're doing harmful shit. I don't care how bad it is. And the other thing is, like,
okay.
yeah, we gave a platform to 6ix9ine. Yes, we are required now to give one to Ice Spice. That is what I believe.
Mm-hmm. It's only fair.
You know,
I believe
that is one thing. If we can give it to a pedophile, we can give it to a girl who's just getting by on her body. Sorry, I think that's.
I mean, call it what it is. I'm not mad at you at all.
That's what I say. You know, like
Yeah.
like if we're gonna give her this platform because we've given it to much worse people, and like also like Munch could barely get through it, but like I can name names of people who wish they had songs as good as Munch. Like,
I was gonna say that is significantly worse in comparison.
yeah. So, and the you know, that's just my opinion. Could she be a one hit wonder? I agree. As a matter of fact, Anthony Fantano released a video about it today.
Oh, I missed this.
And he basically like calls it. You know, he doesn't participate in any of the toxicity around Ice Spice, but he definitely calls her she's going to be a one hit wonder. And the other thing is,
so that's why I said it's a prediction.
I want to be clear that like you can say Ice Spice is not good or gonna boot her out. You can say that and not be a sexist asshole or just an asshole about it.
Right.
You know, you can do that. And I think you are, but like, actually, some of that stuff I had to push back on.
So, I guess the ending off the conversation in this specifically, and just to wrap it all up, is Ice Spice, and this is all just a prediction. It doesn't have to be right. Is Ice Spice a one-hit wonder?
It's impossible to say right now, but I think it's very likely. And you know, just to give credit to Fantano, like he said, like yeah, she's probably going to be like Fetty Wap. She's probably just gonna make Munch over and over again. And sure, it's probably cool for a minute, but it'll pass.
Okay.
And yeah, like I think that might be a little generous, but I think it's probably in the ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So yeah, that's my opinion on her. And I just once again, I think it's just like a little fucked up to disqualify her before she even has the chance.
No, I respect it. I really do. I honestly, I do. As much as I've been talking down on Ice Spice within this podcast itself, I, honest to God, hope that she does excel.
Yeah.
And I hope that she does have more to give to the world.
Yeah.
Besides what she's been expressing and promoting.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately to her, the rap genre sucks. It sucks.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie, it sucks. It really does suck for women to come in within the genre and have to basically sell sex. This was gonna make them successful. If you look at all of the recent women that's been successful, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Meg Thee Stallion, those are the big three names.
Yeah.
They do sell sex. They really do.
But
and they've been able to switch the narrative.
Yeah. Well,
Meg Thee Stallion.
Megan Thee Stallion's a great example because she sells sex, but she's also probably one of the best rappers right now.
Oh, 100%. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Like, Meg Thee Stallion is a lyricist within itself.
Yeah.
And by itself, she's just been promoting this recent thing with I believe it's Frito-Lay's and Family Heights and things like that. She just put out a little short film that was saying she's going to have a party focused on Halloween where women are bringing in the heads of their boyfriends that are pieces of shit. I think that is dope.
Yeah.
That is so dope within itself.
Yes, but you can't just have a career of that. You need to have music underneath.
This is true.
Yeah,
this is very true.
Oh my god. This is an exhausting conversation.
This is a lot going on.
But needless to say, one-hit wonders are contentious.
We made this about Ice Spice.
Yeah, this is also a big Ice Spice debate. And my opinion is pretty mediocre. She's probably going to peter out, but we should be less of an asshole about it. Like,
we are going to see.
Yeah.
I think that's all.
I think that's a fair prediction. I
hope she is like.
I hope not. I hope every artist is a multiple song artist. I hope everyone.
That's what I'm saying.
I
want her to get her money.
I want everyone to get on the microphone and be good. But the reality is, not everyone is going.
Not everyone is going to be good. So I guess one thing, moving on with the conversation as we've been talking for I don't know how long.
We are at 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Jesus Christ. And I've had a whole bottle of like wine. So moving on from there, the common themes that you see between it being successful and non-successful. What are some things that are kind of pointing out to you?
I just think
what makes a one-hit wonder a one-hit wonder?
I mean, first off, I do think there is a certain level of not necessarily quality, but competency that is required. And one second. I do think that there is like a little bit of competency that's required, right? But then again, like it's completely unpredictable. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And also, I think like the internet has dropped the bar of what is a one-hit wonder. You know, Munch would not have been a one-hit wonder 20 years ago.
Not at all.
Would drop that dun-dun-dun. But like,
nope.
So I also think, probably the most interesting thing about one-hit wonders is that what was I gonna say? Yeah, completely lost the train of thought on that one. It's been a long one, but
it's been a long one.
Yeah.
But I mean, just speaking on common themes in general,
I just
just
think
that
they tend
alone.
to be like fairly safe, radio-friendly songs. Oh, what I was gonna say is that like I think it's interesting how in the past, you know, your Vanilla Ices, your all the guys from the '90s, they were very much like they were like industry plants. Like they were corporations putting these.
Yep.
Yeah, like
they were put into the position.
Vanilla Ice is the best example of an industry plant there is. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Ice Spice, for all you can say about her, that's not it. Round up, kind of one hit wonder.
Yeah,
And
she made her own space within the
yeah,
industry
but that
and
doesn't.
has performed from there.
But that also is not any more of a guarantee of success.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
One hit wonders are very unique in its own sense, and that's one thing that I wanted to go into because I feel like a common theme. What makes all these connect within each other? It's absorbable.
Yeah.
It's something that people are easy to obtain, and it's on the radio. It's on the platform. It doesn't have to be deep within the story. A lot of people that think about hip hop music in general, it's like, oh, they're very lyricist. They're very focused on the lyrics.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be only that. There's so much more to the
I
genre.
feel like there's like two perspectives on hip hop. People think it's all Kendrick Lamar, and people think it's all Chain Hang Low.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And first off, like, if you think it's all Chain Hang Low, you're racist.
Man, there is so much more going on.
Yeah. But yeah, there is also that perspective of like, yeah, everything is either this super lyrical miracle cerebral thing or it's failing. And it's like, no, there's room for Trap Queen, there's room for Fifi on the block.
There's so much more room for just
again,
like radio hits that are absorbable.
I think the main thing that they provide is just like that dose of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think like they're overall a good thing. I just think like they are very rarely indicators of good career.
Mm-hmm.
You know, once again, not always. Bismarcky, I know Stunt Taylor has a very strong local career. But yeah, and that's all I gotta say on the topic because I have two pieces of news that broke while we were recording.
Wait, what's going on?
So one, Baby Keem is either teasing or revealing that Lauryn Hill will be on the deluxe edition of the Melodic Blue.
Lauryn Hill?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Okay, let me look into this real quick.
And there's been, and I'm not joking with you, there's been a Frank Ocean update.
Brandon almost broke my headphones.
He is dropping Homer Radio every Thursday at 10 o'clock. I think it's an Apple Music exclusive.
Brandon?
It's like a radio show. He's describing it as office music.
Brandon?
Oh.
Nah, stop fucking with me, bro.
No, that's real. I know the NFR podcast. There's someone who like really covered this shit. One of those guys got to be doing this full time.
Nah. Stop the fucking presses.
We can't see that.
Brandon, I don't care about anything right now. I don't care about this podcast. I don't care about Ice Spice or anything we've been discussing. If Frank Ocean is dropping music,
well, it's a radio show, but like I think that's a fair indicator that like something else is going on. Also, please give me credit for leading with Baby Keem because I knew there'd be no bringing you back. Like,
I didn't even care about Baby Keem.
Oh, Lauryn Hill is dope. Like,
no, I love Lauryn Hill, but Frank Ocean?
we want to do recommendations to get out of here so we can explore this.
All right, let's just wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap up this 2.5-hour podcast.
All right, I'm gonna start off. I'm starting off with Matthew Chain coming out with a song called Passion Soda. It's been out for a little bit. Just to give you a little backstory, I was listening into his music for a while when I was going through my deep depression phase of junior year of college. All I did was smoke and listen to music and lo-fi music. He had a song that came out that was called Homemade that was absolutely fantastic. I have it saved on YouTube. It is a lo-fi playlist. I went into the rest of his music. Passion Soda is so good. Matthew Chain Matthew Chain created the song Passion Soda. It starts off really slow and builds up into it. So that's my first recommendation.
Perfect. All right, my first one, up top, very quickly. I listened to Cheat Codes, Black Thought, and Danger Mouse. Holy shit, incredible.
Okay.
First one though, I'm gonna go to a group I love. I'm recommending "All This Money" by Injury Reserve. Hell yeah.
Nice. All
Yeah.
this money by injury reserve. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me put this in my nose real quick. Brandon, I'm not okay.
Dude, we get Frank and Call of Duty, dude. I'm gonna be killing people and crying. Like,
Jesus Christ. Today is a good day. Today is a really
it's a good day
day.
to have a hip hop podcast. This will be up at first thing in the morning,
My
especially because I don't have to do any edits. Like,
right, literally. It's just
No,
like
we
everything
got-
was flow. I told you, bro. I told
Yeah,
you before
you
the
said it. You
podcast
said
started. I was like, nah, this is gonna flow.
yeah,
Gonna
no,
flow.
this is an editless podcast. So far, at least, like up to this point.
So far, we're gonna
Yeah.
choke it. The second one is the Cool Kids. It's called In the Mix. The Cool Kid is a group that consists of two different individuals. One is from Chicago, one is from Michigan.
I
It's
know the
called
Cool
In the
Kids.
Mix. Great song.
Cool Kids are great. Chuck English,
Amazing.
love the Cool Kids.
10 out of 10. Love
very
it.
early 2010s. Love that.
Yep. In the Mix. Really good.
All
What's
right,
your
my
second?
next one. Okay, so as you know, huge Griselda phase right now. Definitely finding my favorite of those dudes is probably Conway the Machine, and I really, really wanted to recommend John Woo Flick, but instead I'm gonna recommend Scatterbrain, Conway the Machine featuring Ludacris and Jid.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, Ludacris, great verse. Like, I know he doesn't have exactly the best career, but like when he pops, he pops.
Oh, 100%. I was about to say, no, 100%. You know how I feel about Jid, too, so
Yeah.
I am fully on the boat.
All right.
My last one, closing it out, I'm going to do the song North Face by Odie. I've
Oh
been
my
heavy
god,
on the
I
Odie
listened
fan.
to this song. Oh my god.
Bro, so good. It is so good.
This is
The
one of the
vibe
songs
that
that was
rolls
on
with
my.
it.
It was on my Spotify playlist, and it's like one of the singles that just never made it over.
Brandon, welcome to Spotify. Welcome back.
back,
I'm so
yeah.
glad you're back.
All right, my last one, exactly the same story. The single that was on one of my Spotify playlists that was recently served to me. It just wasn't served on Tidal, and this is a song you and me have bonded over. We have been in the trenches singing this song. "Leave Me Alone" by Flip De Niro.
Ooh, okay. That's a good one. I like that.
All right, guys, this was a very long one, but we got stuff to get to. So, Purvis, say goodnight.
I'll tell you right now, if Frank Ocean drops, I'm blowing up everything.
Yeah, we're gonna do a special episode. If there's a Frank Ocean drop, we'll do a special episode.
Respect.
All right. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Happy Halloween.
We just canceled the podcast.